Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll talk about the PlayStation backlash following that follow up terrible news from them about the 2028 death of physical, Xbox layoffs and selling of studios and what happened there, and Nishino in his Famitsu interview focusing on live service and AI and the fire sale that seems to be going on with PlayStation executives. But before we get into all that, we'll see what everybody's been playing and then we'll jump right into it. Weeb, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Yeah. Still pissed off at PlayStation, as you can
Absolutely.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
PlayStation.
yeah, fuck 'em. I'm gonna buy that T-shirt. Um, yeah. I finished The Adventures of Elliot last week. I got Plaid before Morgan, so she's really pissed off at me.
Not you
Absolutely.
specifically looking at that because
Absolutely.
she woke up trying to beat you, but she saw that you played
I was like, oh,
already.
this nigga got 86%, bro. Okay, he's got still a couple of trophies left. Oh, fuck, he's going to beat me before I get it.
Yeah, she
I was
called it.
plotting, Weave. I was plotting.
Yeah, and you failed. Never bet against the weeb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yep. But yeah, it was fun. I really like the so the like it has multiple endings and you're but it's not like you're yeah, they are technically missable, but it's not like they really sort of misdirect you. Like you just naturally follow the markers what the ending is, and then oh yeah, no, there's maybe other stuff you can do to get a better ending, and then after that you can still go for a true ending, which was pretty long. Like I wasn't expecting basically another entire dungeon with another boss, and but yeah, it was worth it. Like I really loved the that it sort of started off simple. Like this is one of these games where when I played the demo on the Switch, it was like, yeah, I'm not sure about this one, but I'm glad I gave it a chance because when I played again on PlayStation, it was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And the story like is really delivers. Like it starts pretty simple, straightforward, and then there's a lot of hooks, a lot of things that they're story beats they're dropping at the beginning of the story of the game that they pay off in the end. So everything is resolved, is paid off. So yeah, absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favorite games of the year. Yeah, I hope they're gonna make a sequel to this because it clearly it was successful. Too bad it's probably not gonna be physical, thanks to PlayStation. But yeah, fuck them. And other than that, I've continued my run through with Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. I've been playing that. I'm pretty close to the ending. I think I have to do two more stages and then some DLC stages. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like again, this is one of those games where I played the demos. Like I'm not sure about this, and then I you know uh, I saw it like on sale somewhere. Like oh yeah, it's too good to pass up. And then I played it and like yeah, it's pretty cool. It has a lot of it's sort of yeah, it's Metroidvania, but like really action oriented. Like there's a lot of of skill issues in the sense like you can dodge, you can I think you can parry, and there's a lot of different moves you can unlock there. There's a lot of modifiers. Like I love that you like generally just play the game with sort of medallions that give you more money or more health when you beat enemies, and but like I have like found this golden combo with bosses because there's special move that sort of summons a giant snake, but it's really powerful, but it also takes the longest time for you to summon it, so it really leaves you vulnerable for a long time. But then I unlocked a medallion that just says, oh yeah, we're gonna shorten the time, so yeah, that boss doesn't have a chance. So that really lets me do maximum damage in every boss encounter. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It highly recommend it. It also has these crazy DLC stages where you get to fight Majima from the Yakuza series or Eggman from Sonic. So yeah, I'm I think I'm gonna finish this probably this weekend somewhere, and then I'll hop on to another game that arrived this week for me at least, because I didn't go for the digital version, but of course the physical version. Mouse PI, I got the Mouseburg edition, which is pretty sweet. Includes the game, includes baseball cards, a vinyl. So yeah, really glad that I waited for this because it looks really sweet. And yeah, I played a bit of the game, but I'm gonna give my attention after finish Shinobi. But yeah, it looks really good. Love the art style. Love the music. Yeah, the whole sort of Steamboat Willie like aesthetics. Plus, the noir setting. Yeah, I mean, I love that even at the beginning you can just say, hey, do you want to play like the normal version, or you want to play the director's cut with like intense film grain and sort of audio, I guess gets glitches or something like that. So it's really like the audio gets kind of stored like you're playing an old record. So yeah, I love the attention of detail they put into giving you that really noir experience with this cartoon aesthetic. So yeah, those are the games I've been playing, and many more to come. Maybe not all on PlayStation because, well, again, fuck them. Yeah.
Did you buy a PC or not yet?
I'm thinking about it, and I'm probably gonna do it next week. Yeah, I
You're
found a
gonna
great
buy
deal.
the final boss of all PC?
I'm gonna go for the final boss because which is big enough that I can put my PlayStation inside of it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like that's how far you pushed me, PlayStation. Like you took away the part of a part of why I loved you. Yes, I love the games, but I loved also the aspect that you really treated physical gamers with respect, and now you're just saying fuck you. And that's a consequence. Like I don't necessarily have to buy the next PlayStation as my main platform to play. I'm perfectly happy to go to PC
No, you
because
can invest way
if
less
it's all
in
physical,
PlayStation now. Yeah.
sorry.
You can invest way less in PlayStation now.
Yeah, I mean, and the option was always there in a sense, but like PlayStation was good to me. Like I didn't to change, and
Yeah,
like
you
I
were
was
good
fine.
until
Yeah,
they
good. I
forced the
mean,
issue.
I had no issues. Like there was not like the games run fine on the PS5, so it's not like I'm really compromised. Like yeah, if I was playing everything on the Switch, that's another story. But yeah, I mean it was fine. And then they took away that part that I really liked. That it was I mean I'm primarily physical gamer, and now they're yeah they made their choice. Well, then I'm gonna make my choice as well.
I agree. Yeah, a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people either getting back to PC or getting PCs for the first time, either recently or they're looking to build one. So, I mean, it's pushing a lot of people that direction. Um, in combination with Xbox long standing already pushing a ton of people in that direction. So, inadvertently, the funny story is that both of these companies are just pushing people to own a PC and own a Switch too, in the end, which is
Yeah.
kind of hilarious when you think about it. Um, Again, like you said, you're kind of in the position, putting yourself in the position where I am, where I'm like, I'll still get a PS6, for the exclusives. Like, I'm not gonna miss, some top tier games. Like, I know people are like, oh, I'm not gonna purchase a console for one game. I'm like, dude, I've already done that. Like, I got an entire
Oh
new
yeah.
3DS XL because it played Fire Emblem better, and it was a Fire Emblem Special Edition. Like, so I've already done that. I've been through that story. So I will never say that I won't do that, because there are definitely games where they would be worth the price of admission. So, but yeah, like you said, you can lower that investment. You can now start to look for deals on your games. Once you get to that point in the future, and look for those deals on Green Man Gaming and all those day one sales that you can continue to enjoy, and you don't
Yeah.
have to question where the platform is going to be in the future because PC is already established. as what it's going to be in 2028. So you don't have to question that, and you can let PlayStation figure that out for themselves where they're going to be.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I agree.
That's up to
That's the
them.
best place to be.
Yep.
But yeah, Morgan, how are you, ma'am? And what have you been playing? Even though I know the answer to that.
Yeah, I'm good. Like Weeb, I also beat and platinumed The Adventures of Elliot.
Congrats.
Great game, thank you. Um, yeah, really all the talking points that Weeb said. Like, I think what I really like about this game, versus like other Team Asano games like Octopath Traveler 2 and 0, like we pointed out, the the there are 3 endings in this game, the bad ending, the good ending, and the true ending. Um, I like that the way they set this game up is you can't, if you want to go for all of the endings, which I suggest you should if you are playing the game, not for trophy, not just for trophy purposes, but I think the true ending is the best ending. And I think we would agree with that. But um, it lines up so that you don't skip out if you really want to do these endings. And what I mean by that is, for example, in Octopath Traveler 0 or Octopath Traveler 2, if you want to go for, the multiple endings, you kind of have to, figure out what you have to do to get those endings. Like you might accidentally get the true ending first, or you might get the bad ending first. It really depends on, what you've done, the side missions you've done, what actions that you've taken throughout the world. But in Adventures of Elliot, like we pointed out, it's in order. So it's like you start off, the first ending you'll get is the bad one, and then the game opens up more. You get a few quests and things that you have to do, and then if you complete those prerequisites, then you can go for the good ending, and then same thing happens again. The world opens up a little bit more. You get a little bit more side quests, more information, and then you can go for the true ending. So it's like a order. You won't miss out. Like, it's really kind of step by step for you. You won't be like confused, like which ending did I get? Did I get the good one, the bad one? It's really kind of laid out for you. So I do appreciate that because it's a little different from what Team Asano does with their other games. Like I said, with Octopath Traveler, where I was confused at one point whether I got the bad ending or not. I was trying to figure out, like, okay, I think I got the good ending. I'm not sure. Which can be confusing when you're trying to redo endings. And I like that after each ending, it would like give you a save point right before you beat the quote unquote final boss, so that you could go back and get the things needed to do the next ending. So that was very, very well done. But as far as the game, I really enjoyed that game. Like, it's a strong 9 for me. But it's not really surprising again because I love Team Asano games. Um, the world, absolutely beautiful. Story was great. Like the gameplay, like, it's not difficult at all. Like this game, like as far as Team Asano games, this is like the easiest game ever. It almost plays like baby's first JRPG. It really wasn't that difficult. The boss fights, I was kind of waiting for like that second phase, that third phase, and then it was over, and I was like, oh, that's it. Okay, cool. I mean, but that doesn't mean I thought it was bad or anything. I really thought it was good. I liked the story. I like that everything was wrapped up very nicely, especially, again, this is why I suggest you go for the true ending if you're playing this game, because I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but all the questions I had and everything like that answered, right? A very nice, complete story. There was nothing where, they ended and I had like lingering questions like, what about this or what about that? But I could see this being like a standalone thing, but I also could see it being a sequel because there's probably other obviously story bits that you could do with the whole time travel mechanic, right? So there could be definitely sequels to this game, but I thought it was wrapped up. The story was wrapped up very nicely, and like I said, all my questions were answered. So I appreciated that out of the game. It didn't really take me that long. 40, 50 hours. So pretty small for a JRPG and a Team Asano game where I usually spend like 100 plus hours. Um, but I enjoyed my time with that game a lot. I was grinding through it, trying to get this trying to get this done before my next game, which is Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, that just came out. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous game. But that's not really ever been a um hard thing for Ubisoft to achieve. Like they're very good. Like one thing people can't say is that Ubisoft games are ugly. Like their engine, their Anvil engine's very very good and it's very well optimized. And Black Flag is no different. You know, it's obviously since it's their latest entry, as far as Assassin's Creed games go, it's the most beautiful one thus far. I mean, like the detail in it, the environmental detail, the weather effects, the day and night cycle, like even the character fidelity. You know, when I'm watching like you know the game and I'm playing the game, you know, obviously cutscenes look fantastic, but even when I'm playing the game, the textures and everything like that just are on point. And I'm playing it on the PS5 Pro, so you know, it's got the ray tracing and the performance mode, so it's really beautiful. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, especially if you're a Black Flag fan, I think that this is a beautiful remake. I think they've done it justice. It's really well done. Um, Playing this game just made me miss the old Ubisoft. You know, the Ubisoft where they didn't treat their customers like they were stupid. Like the old Ubisoft where they actually cared about the narrative, they cared about character building, they cared about world building. You know, Edward's story is one of my favorites, you know, where he's obviously a pirate, but he's doing this because, you know, he's trying to raise money and, you know, become rich so he can, you know, get the girl, marry, you know, bring his wife over and, you know, prove to her that, you know, he can be a man and provide and things like that, even though she doesn't really care about any of that. You know, she was raised rich and she was willing to leave it all just to be with him. But, you know, it's just him and, you know, his pride. He just can't not do it. And, you know, you see him battle, you know, between what's right and wrong throughout, you know, the story of Black Flag. And I really like that his conscience is consistently being tested in this game. And he's consistently you know, he'll say he's doing the right thing, but he's only doing it for coin, you know, like he'll help you out, save you, and he'll, you know, kill these Templars and that are doing evil things, but only for a price, right? And I do like that James Kidd is consistently that cricket on his shoulder saying, you know, there's more to life than just coin and rum, Edward. Like you have to they're like, you know, you have to live for something higher. You know, you have to have a higher purpose than that. And you can see he's slowly understanding what that means and realizing what that means as the game goes on. And again, that's when Ubisoft actually cared to write a decent character and have character growth into their games. And I'm hoping that the success of this game will kind of reignite Ubisoft and kind of put a fire under their ass and be like, this is what gamers want. But unfortunately, I think this only means that they'll just start doing more remakes and not really revitalizing their plans with their current games. Um, I like the fact that, you know, this isn't going to be as far as Black Flag goes, this isn't a one for one with the old combat. You know, the old combat was great for its time, but it's obviously outdated now. And I appreciate that they didn't go full RPG with this shit. Like they didn't go full Assassin's Creed Shadows or Odyssey or whatever with this combat. It's a happy medium. You still got the, you know, the cool nice looking combos and parries and finishers and stuff of the old, but you know, with the updated, you know, fluidness of the current combat. So it's a great medium to have. Like the only thing is that you can't use the hidden blades for your main weapon like you could in the original. But I don't mind that. It's nice. You can use it for finishers and obviously for assassinating and things like that. So I don't really mind. Um, but yeah, it's great. The naval combat still as great as ever. I do like the addition of the new characters. Their stories aren't like the strongest, you know, the stories that you do to get them and things like that. I think it's not as strong as the writing of the original because again, the people who wrote the side characters is not the same writer who wrote the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So I wasn't really expecting the writing for the new content to be as strong as the old content, but I think it still does pretty good. And I like the addition of these new characters and the powers or you know the skills that they bring to your ship. I really like Padre's skill where you can basically super ram essentially like it's like a ram power where it like speeds up really quick and it just rams these other ships like hella hard. Like I am like one shot killed a bunch of ships with that skill. It's a great skill to have. Um, so I do like the addition of these characters, and I like that they actually took out the animus portions of the game. I know some people were against that, but those were so boring for Black Flag that the first person when you're going back to the, the present time and you're just walking around, you weren't there was really no gameplay. It was just mostly story, and the story really didn't do anything for the game. So I'm glad they took that out. I thought that was kind of filler anyway. But overall, I'm enjoying my experience right now. I think I got like 30 hours into this thing. Like I was like staying up all night playing this. I just missed being a pirate so much. I missed hitting the other ships, boarding the other ships, sinking the other ships. All the fun things that come with that upgrading, taking everything that they have and then using it to upgrade the jackdaw. Absolutely, absolutely love it. If you like I said, if you're a Black Flag fan, you need to get this game. Fantastic game. But I knew it would be because it's like the story was so strong. You're not going to change the story in a remake like you would hope. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. Having a good time. Despite PlayStation's fuck ups. But yeah,
No, yeah, no, I agree. I see Ramon was saying in the chat that he's looking forward to starting it as well. He's hoping they do a
nice.
Capcom level remake of one. I've seen a lot of people say that after they've seen this. A lot of people are hoping that they do
Like a Resident Evil.
yeah, like Resident Evil level, and I mean, it would need that level of work. Like a lot of people, like I said, I've been lucky enough to play every single Assassin's Creed since one, and one needs a lot of work. One doesn't have it's very bare bones, you know,
Yeah.
version of what Assassin's Creed is now.
I would love a Capcom, but I just don't know if Ubisoft has it in them to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
it was. I want to say it's easy, but it was easier to do it with Black Flag because again, the story's already there, the foundation's there. It's a really great game. You just needed to kind of update it and bring it to the current platforms and bring it up to date, right? They still did it justice. I'm like, there's still things that they could have changed and they could have fucked up on. So I'm not gonna. So I give Ubisoft kudos to that because they could have just went full RPG with this shit and ruined what people really liked about Black Flag. So they knew where to take things away and where to add things. So shout out to that. But I don't like I would love to have an Ezio trilogy remake, but I just feel like Ubisoft might fuck that up and would just piss me off. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, a lot of people are really enjoying it. Seeing more people picking it up on the timeline. Uh, McQuack, and it seems specifically blaming all of us for posting images and how amazing it looked. So he went and picked up the physical launch edition. Um, so yeah, a lot of people really picking this up. That is kind of surprising. Not that Assassin's Creed being popular is surprising, but like the amount of people that are
Yeah. So
coming
like 2
going
million
out of
already.
yeah. Like so, I mean, it's always been big for me. I've always said I'm unapologetically a massive Assassin's Creed fan. Like I said, I've played all of them. Like, and I'm not gonna stop. So, um, yeah. But shout out to them, for doing such an amazing job with this, and I'm really, really, really enjoying uh, Black Flag. So, to myself, uh, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Sup? I'm surviving. As for my gaming, yeah, I'm tarotting the entire time. Yeah, basically I'm playing tarot. No joke, this is literally a Dark Soul moment or any Soul game moment. I literally was one hit away from beating the final button. I died.
Yeah, that's how you like it, right? You
So
like your games hard, right?
I love my game hard, but I'm like,
Omar's the
dude,
hard man.
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
this should be you
it's
should be in your
painful. It's
moment.
painful. It's painful, but it's gonna be
I said
so
he should be ecstatic
cathartic
about
when
that.
I, huh?
I
So
said he
he
should be ecstatic about that.
Absolutely not.
uh,
Like
You
it.
love it. Like I
Yeah,
swear,
I love
you love
hard
it
games.
hard. And
Yeah, I love.
anytime anything's too
Like,
easy, you get so
you
upset.
Oh,
can
Pause.
love hard game, play challenges and stuff like that. Challenge yourself, but at the same time being upset when you're literally one hit away from beating the final boss. Not just any boss, the final boss.
But look, now you get to play it all over again. That's the fun part, Omar.
Yeah, cute. Because I was literally that close. Well, but to be fair, I need to beat him a second time if I want to get the platinum, which I'm absolutely gonna get the platinum for this game. Because unlike Returnal, this game RNG is close to non-existent when it comes to collectibles and stuff like that. They are all locked behind progression, Metrovania progression. Um, but yeah, that's beside the point. Phenomenal game. Fuck the story. I don't understand why they hyped up who they casted only for the story to be. I don't even know what to say about the story because I don't even know what the story is about. So the only sad part is story. What are you? That's it. But besides that, yeah, no, the game is phenomenal. Get it, play it, um, give it a go. It's in PlayStation Plus, the what you call it, the expensive version. You can get a trial for it. Give it a go if it's something up for you. But yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, and I'm close to buying Rise of the Ronin physical because physical rocks and also for PlayStation obligatory.
Yeah, okay. And then as for myself, obviously I'm playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag as well. Um, Absolutely enjoying it. I mean, I couldn't wait for this game to launch. Been playing pretty much, every moment I can since it's released. Honestly, just it's just great to be back in that world. Kind of like Morgan was saying, it's one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds as well. I was always a really big fan of the ship combat and stuff, so finally getting the Jackdaw and everything upgraded and just being back in that world with this incredible work that this team has done. Um, Going back and watching and listening to what the team did to achieve a lot of the incredible visuals they did is always really interesting for me. Um, the way they achieved ray tracing across all the modes and a lot of the work that they did is honestly just nothing short of incredible. So again, shout out to Ubisoft for their optimization and everything going on with this game. I mean, it is absolutely impressive. I've had zero frame rate issues or anything playing on my PS5 Pro. Um, Rock solid, whether it's a crazy storm happening with tempests everywhere and lightning, or, I'm in the middle of the city and the rain puddles on the ground are everywhere. And, I mean, these are not light storms, right? These are the type of storms, you dreamed of being in a lot of games growing up. So this team really did an incredible job. Um, but yeah, that's like pretty much the only thing I've been playing since it dropped. Um, I know I did another major game that did come out, which I haven't had a chance to like really delve into it. But I wasn't personally buying this game, but a somebody on my Steam family ended up buying Echoes of Aincrad, which is basically um, you're a nobody in Sword Art Online, the anime. Um, so instead of being, one of the top people or playing as Kirito, the main character, you're just another person who got trapped in that world. And, you have to play and get through that world. So I was able to start that and kind of just kind of check that out. I did put on PC, like I said. So it's been okay so far. Like, again, that wasn't something I was looking forward to, but I figured since I had access to it, like,
I
why
was
not try it?
surprised with the meta. 68?
I mean,
Damn.
I'm not really surprised. Uh, Based
I
on
played
everything
the
I know.
demo. It didn't feel 68, so I'm curious what went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I won't know until I really get into it further. But I'm not surprised based on what I've seen. Just kind of feels like it might be like generic, like
It is generic, yeah. I'm not gonna front you on that front, but I mean to be fair, most all sort of online games are like that. So I was not sure what people were surprised, but yeah,
yeah. I mean, you
it
don't
is.
have the main character stuff to lean into, story wise and things of that nature. Because like I said, the characters themselves, you're a nobody. Like your character is a
Yeah,
created character, and things of that nature. Like I said, now I'll see how I feel about it after I play it some more. But I'm not surprised by the reaction from people who reviewed it ultimately because I know where these games kind of stand over the years. But I've seen a lot more people pick it up than ever, and I think it's just because like the Sword Art name is not really on it. So even though that's technically what it is, so I'm interested to see how people feel about it. Because quite a few people on my friends list have picked it up physically. So yeah, we'll see how people feel about it a little bit later. Like I said, I haven't gotten to it a lot. Um, Still playing through Forza Horizon 6. I did beat it already, but the festival and all that stuff is always ongoing. Still enjoying that. Interested to see when they're going to launch it on PS5. Honestly, I think they need to do that sooner rather than later. Um, but yeah, I'm still really enjoying that game as well. And mess around with some other games here and there. Went back to Marvel's Midnight Suns. Picked up the Legendary Edition on PC. I already own the Legendary Edition on PS5. So I just
God,
again just a great
God
game.
damn it! Now you remind me. I have to finish that game too.
Oh yeah, and that game is mad long. So
Yeah.
yeah.
but I played a little bit of it when I was game chatting with Viper. Shout out to him. It was fun. It was entertaining.
Yeah. Generally well written. Yeah, I love that.
It was that was the surprising part for me was like the writing was actually good and like the quips were actually really funny, like
Yeah.
like like everybody's character really fit themselves. Like honestly, one of my favorite characters in this one is I like Blade. I like the way they wrote Blade because like I mean he's genuinely himself. He feels like the movie version of Blade. Like if Blade was put in this situation, this is how he would act. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, love the quips. I think with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, right? Like,
yeah, they're always
and
going at each other.
probably like old married couple. Yeah.
Yeah. My tech could beat your magic. No, it can't.
Yeah. And magic. Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah,
She
it's been really
she
good.
better
So
girl.
yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with that game. Like I
How
said,
much
I
did
mean, I
you
bought
pay
it
for
twice,
it?
so I I,
The
I bought it for $17.
17. Okay.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I bought it for on PlayStation. Like I bought it on sale there as well, but it wasn't that low. But that's what I bought it for recently for adding it to my PC library. Somebody on my Steam list had it, but they didn't have the Give Me Everything edition, and I don't play games without that. So,
And
um,
there is ton of DLC. This one has ton of DLC in
yeah, it
it.
does, and it's all in the Legendary edition, so that's why I got it. Uh, and it's completely worth it. Like all the outfits, all the stuff that gets added from it is really great, and then you get other new characters, Venom and uh, Deadpool, and a bunch of them. So, honestly, the game's just a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Deadpool alone would be insane in the game.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty funny in general, so you already know he's gonna talk a lot of crap. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's just so much stuff to get back to, in wake of all the stuff that is coming. But yeah, that's why I'm like basically sticking to Black Flag. I'll probably just stick to Black Flag till I beat it. Probably most likely go for the platinum. I'm really just enjoying like being stuck to one game, pretty heavily, and then I'll focus on some of the backlog more, like finishing up Replaced, and a couple other titles that I was already working on. While
Yeah, he got
we
about
wait
10 or
for
12 games he needs to finish. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't finish that game yet.
yeah. So we'll jump on that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into the first topic. We'll see what everybody else has been playing. Most of you guys been chiming in, like you said, about what you guys have been playing as well. So it seems like the community's playing, between Adventures of Elliot and Assassin's Creed and a couple other things. So it's always interesting to see what everybody else is playing as well. But yeah, so we'll jump into the first thing. So we're kind of a revisit on the topic because obviously there's been an update or a lack of an update. But obviously, last week we talked about PlayStation. That's all we covered because there was a lot to be said about the discussion. And PlayStation went silent for about 6 days. And obviously, everybody knows they didn't go silent for no reason. The PlayStation account has tweeted literally nonstop for years, and prior to that, they had only ever been silent for like 72 hours. So obviously, they were thinking long and hard about this, regardless of whatever they didn't say out loud. I think the backlash has been loud. It's been obvious, and it's gonna show, right? I know, like I told people, everybody's this. You don't need everybody to stop, right? This has been like a big misconception. People are understanding you don't really have to stop, playing your games and stuff like that. But what's happening, what a lot of people are doing, are just adjusting. Hey, do I really? So people are starting to consider what they really need. Like Will was saying, he canceled his PlayStation Plus. A ton of people canceled their PS Plus. A lot of people just kind of obligatorily had it, right? Like just kind of just on. So a lot of people are, cutting back on that. Um, like I said,
Yeah, I'm legit. I'm legit. Not to cut you off, but I'm legit debating if I can not cancel mine, but let mine uh finish. Like I'm literally 1 to 2 months away from being done with it.
yeah, I mean,
At that point,
a lot of people are debating, or a lot of people are already on other platforms, and so they're already pushing towards those other platforms as their primaries. If PlayStation was a primary or secondary for them, it's either becoming tertiary or it's something they're ultimately looking to phase out, right? And again, everybody's situation is different. Everybody has a different level of investment in the platform. Um, like I said, mine has been heavy over the years. I have over 800 titles, um, in my library. I have more than that because there's physical games that I still have that are in the wrapper. So those games wouldn't count because they've never, even been installed. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've got a significant investment there, significant investment in hardware. My investment in PlayStation's hardware totaled from PS4 to PS5 generation is probably just shy of about $10,000 um, over that time. So I mean, that's not nothing. Um, and I think a lot of other people I've seen
no,
that
it's
have
not
been getting
nothing.
more
That's
of
why
that.
it's so painful. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not throwing stuff out the window. I mean, I'm not that person. Like my PS5 Pro is gonna stay where it is. I'm not selling nothing. Like people are crazy.
Oh. I mean, as a physical gamer, so no, this is the last thing I want to do. I need to cherish that PS5 to make sure that I can keep playing those games when they discontinue, their disc drives.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, like my PS5 Pro is staying right where it is. Like I said, we've got two of them. They're staying where they are, and like I said, I'm gonna watch accordingly, right? Like it's not 2028 today, but I'm watching them very carefully, how they're moving, and moving my investments around accordingly, right? That's the way you react. It's like it's no different than the market, right? If something doesn't pan out or something doesn't go the way you want, you move your money elsewhere. Um, and you do what's best for you as a gamer. Like I said, um, at best, at the worst case for PlayStation going forward is they stick to it and like they don't make any improvements to their current system. And then, like I said, my investment will be like that accordingly, and I'll move forward with, we'll probably have a single PS6 in the household for the exclusives, and as like I said, me and Fox are we're tech enthusiasts in general. Um, so Fox is not about to miss a piece of tech, regardless. I mean, we have an Xbox One and Xbox One S and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, you want to talk about having useless things, like we had those. So yeah,
Don't remind me, man.
yeah, like yeah, I remember that we got pictures. The day she was super excited, and then that excitement died. Very painful, strong death. Um, So yeah, that's why I said like I'm not on this ship like I'm just gonna go all PC because that has never worked for me. Unlike a lot of other people, like I've never not been on PC. I don't have to switch. I'm not a switch person, you know, when it comes to that. I want everything. So I'm gonna tell you right now, like I'm still going to be there, but that investment, like I said, will be significantly altered depending on PlayStation's moves and how they move going forward. You know, we're talking about thousands of dollars of investment versus, you know, 120 bucks a year. You know, if they're lucky, because they release two exclusives that I actually like. Like, again,
That
if
but
that's the game they want to play,
that's kind of the thing that they're missing. I think
I think
is
they
sort
are.
of the emotional aspect of it, because yeah, as much as we don't want to admit it, we have an attachment to, you know, our console brand, because they're giving us good things. We're satisfied with it, and you know, when you do, like I mean I got some, I know, some USB lights and with the PlayStation symbols. I bought it for, you know, I didn't need it, but like, oh, I like PlayStation. I like to put it, you know, on display. But right now, like, I don't give a shit. Like when they drop their stupid Christmas decorations, like I said, fuck that shit. Like I'm not gonna put that in my Christmas tree to be reminded of the time they screwed me over. Like no,
Yeah.
like they kind of broken that trust with me, and that breaks something, you know, mentally, like emotionally inside you, and then it changes the relationship, because yes, I mean, it's not a parasocial relationship, it's just you have a relationship with that, because you're spending a lot of time, you're investing a lot of into it, and also you're investing a lot of emotional, uh, you know, things into it, right? You're like you love these games, like, and you know, you support that by buying those games, obviously, but also, you know, to invest in the platform, and that's gone, and now it's turning into transactional relationship, right? Like, okay,
Hmm.
like, okay, what are you doing for me? You know, what okay, why do I need to, you know, get PlayStation Plus when I know I don't really make a lot of use of it. I just buy it because, yeah, maybe there's going to be, you know, going to be free games, you know, that I can add to my collection, or maybe in the off chance somebody will ask me to play a multiplayer game with them.
Yeah.
Uh, Other than that, I have no use for that. Like, I'm really sponsoring that. Like, it's a Netflix subscription in a sense where I'm not an active user of it. And I used to be fine with that aspect, because I'm like, oh sure, I'll click, you know, the next monthly releases to my library. I probably already have them or play them, but cool, you know, it looks fun to see that library grow. And now, like, no, why should I give them my money? Like, I'm not using it. It's not useful to me. So okay, cool. Like, if you release great games, I will buy them. And like I said, next generation, you know, PS6, yeah, sure, I will definitely get around to it. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
not sure if I'm gonna buy day one now, because I mean, in the ways like with PlayStation 5, I had like, even though, you know, you could argue you didn't need it day one, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of things was cross gen, and there were, you know, if you really look at, like, the real bangers were not, you know, exclusive, right? They had a great lineup, but like for enthusiasts, for somebody who loves the brand and wants to, you know, get in, like buy the next, you know, next iteration of the PlayStation, right? But if you're like looking at it like without the emotional attachment, like, okay, yeah, but like the only argument you could give is like, okay, we've seen prices increase in time, so you might not want to wait too long with getting the PS6 if anything if it's going the same way as it's going this generation, like because you're gonna eventually need it, and you're gonna be paying, you know, a premium. But other than that, like, if you're, you know, I don't expect them to have, like, they will have launch games, but I don't expect them to have like their killer apps, like the next God of War, or God forbid, Last of Us Part 3 thing. Yeah, that's going to be exclusive, you know, at launch, you know, or near launch, for PS6. Now it's going to be crushed, and probably going to last a little bit longer than the PS5 generation, because, you know, that $1,000 PS6 is probably not going to sell as quickly as the PS5 is doing, which is exactly why they're doing this, because they're seeing, like, yeah, you know, we're not going to do it as well as we did this generation, because, you know, that's not how the market is going. That's not how we cannot afford to release a budget console in the sense that people can afford. We have to reflect the current pricing into that console. It's going to be a premium product, and that's sort of the baffling aspect of this, that they're really dismissing the part that even though it's just a spreadsheet, like Sean Lane said, spreadsheet management, that that number is bigger than that number, so if we cut that number, then that number will go to that other number and we can charge twice as much. Like, yeah, that's not how it's going to work, because that number is not going to be that number. Like you're gonna convert everybody to from physical to digital, right? Like, there's lots of people, like you said, like lots of people who gonna make a decision. Don't think I want to keep on investing in PlayStation the same way, or people are just gonna say, yeah, either I'm quit gaming or go all PC or gonna go all Switch, or buy less games, because that's also a thing. It's like, if every game is full price, then there will be a large portion of gamers who's not going to buy as many games as they used to, because they can't afford it. They were able to pay for games by trading in their games at GameStop, however, and use that trade in, you know, whatever value to buy their new games, right? And in the end, like, you benefit from that because you do keep on selling more stuff, and they will drop, like they will buy the next GTA. It's going to make you a ton of money, or the next big title you have, like God of War, uh, because they want to play that day one, right? But you are really just now you're screwing them over. This is a high, I think, a high income, very valuable section of your market. The hardcore gamers that you're gonna need, because these are the people who will buy $1,000 console, and now you're giving them less reason to buy a console. They will be emotionally feel like they're betrayed because you just ignore them and say, yeah, you don't matter. And the problem is, I think, like I think I also mentioned, like last time, you don't necessarily do either or. Like, I also buy digital games. I double dip a lot. Like, I have had times where I'm like, okay, yeah, oh shit, my shipping was delayed. I want to play this game day one. I'm just gonna double dip and get it digitally. Or I love this game as much, but two different version, and I can't get all of the stuff that I want by just buying one version. I'll do that because I love this game and love this franchise. But I have the option, right? Like, I can do both, and I can just double dip. How the hell am I gonna double dip when everything is digital? It's just gonna be one version, and they're really underestimating the aspect of feeling like you own something. Like, yeah, it sounds cheesy, okay, yeah, Christmas gift, and you're gonna you can put a game in it, and it actually has a game in it. You can play it right away. You don't have to put in the code, and hopefully it works. And I mean, it's so, again, like, they're it's so spreadsheet management. Like, it's so detached from emotion, detached from the feeling people have playing games, that you're like, okay, you're treating your customer as basically as numbers. Well, I mean, don't be surprised if people will reciprocate that when they will just say, yeah, I'm just gonna go for whatever gives me the best value instead of the thing that I love.
Exactly.
And yeah, and then the move to PC, for example, for me, it's easy. Like, I'm gonna go for I'll probably pull that trigger this week on that PC. I'll have a beast of a PC. I can play
Oh
everything
yeah, it's
at
a
max
beast.
settings. Yeah, yeah, but then the PS5 or the PS6 will be irrelevant, as in, this is the place I need to play my games, at my primary place to play, because that's going to be my primary place to play. I'll probably get those games cheaper anyway, because Steam has great sales, and generally it's cheaper.
Yeah,
GOG
GOG
is
have
there for,
phenomenal
yeah,
discount. A lot of them, even
yeah.
at launch, they launch with significantly uh, less price combined to PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, I really want to see how they think this is gonna go, because they're assuming that, I mean, we know that they are according to rumors or analysts saying that they probably don't care, and they probably don't think the stink we're making is going to have a significant impact on on their sales, on the sales target profit margins. The majority is just going to accept it and go with it, and I think they're going to be able to increase their revenue that way because everybody has to buy physical, and they probably will rack up the prices because that's the thing that people don't see is even if it doesn't affect you because you buy digital, you will know the effects of this. Like, don't be surprised if they then realize, oh yeah, yeah, actually we do want to make more money because we see there's less people coming over. The drop off that we anticipate is perhaps a bit bigger than we thought it would be. Yeah, what we're gonna do? Well, okay, we're just gonna jack up the prices. We're gonna now all games are $90, or $100, and yeah, what you're gonna do? You only have one storefront. There's only one place you can buy your games to play on PlayStation. That's the effect that it's gonna have. And it's gonna happen. I mean, obviously, prices have been increasing, and it's gonna happen. But it's gonna be so easy for them, and you don't have an alternative. Like, I never pay full price for my physical games because there are always, a store that's gonna compete and say, yeah, we're gonna give 10, $20 discount because yeah, we want you to buy our game, with us. We're just gonna take a smaller cut. Uh, and that's amazing. Like that's also why I generally don't buy digital because I mean, I could afford it, but it feels like I'm just being cheated. Like, why the hell do I have to buy more for something that doesn't come on a disc, that doesn't have, it costs less to make, and I don't own it. Like, it's a license. You can take it away from me if you want to, which, seen with the Canal Plus movies, like, yeah, technically they can, and that fine print probably is the same for your PSN purchases. Yeah, it's not gonna. I mean, even if they're not doing it right now, they could. And with games I mean, as all has been iterated before, is yeah, if a game gets delisted, yeah, I mean, if I own it, I probably can still download it, but like try buying it if it wants to get delisted. And there have been plenty of games that have been delisted, great games, and yeah, the only way to get them is buy the physical version. And even if that game contains a download code, that download code or just downloads the game from your from a server, that will still work because that's the way it's set up. Like, that server is still active, but you're not going to be able to download that game if you want to buy it right now in an online store because it's no longer available. Again, the game preservation aspect is it means more than just the idea. Okay, yeah, I own the game and I can play whenever I want when PlayStation or an Xbox are gone and their servers are offline and can no longer access them. Like it's more than that. It's just like this is being able to access something that that you paid for, that having a degree of ownership. And yes, everybody will say, ah, yeah. What if a fireworks? Like, yeah, sure. If that happens, I probably have bigger problems and worry about my game collection, right? Like, uh, but I mean, like, what are the odds of your account getting hacked? Or we've seen how easy it is at PlayStation.
With
That
an account getting hacked, it's far more to happen than a fire.
Which yes. I mean, I saw a guy. I mean, this is how unaware people are. I saw a guy on Twitter posting privately. Yeah, I just bought this game digitally, whatever, and he was just sharing all the private information you need, like his account name, his latest purchases, what you would
Yeah, he
need
was
to
sharing everything.
socially hack your account. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it happened, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, this is exactly the point. And I mean, this is also what you guys said. Like, even if you're off, if that's the way you want to go, you're not offering the best. You're not the best in the market, and you don't have your shit together. Like, you don't. You haven't accompanied this announcement. Oh yeah, we're gonna improve security. Gonna make sure it doesn't happen that people get their accounts hacked. we're gonna improve our refund policy. The way we can share games. Probably the opposite will happen. They will just make things more difficult because they want to maximize. I think there were rumors that they make it more difficult to share your games, also digitally, or share accounts. So yeah, what exactly what benefit does it have to not to make everything digital, right? Like things are just gonna get worse here, and that's sort of that feeling, and that feeling of betrayal in a sense. Even though okay, it's transactional, it's a company. Like I just pay the money, they give me a service or a product, but still, like being a gamer is part of my identity. I love it. It's my hobby, and I want to feel good about it. That I'm not supporting some unethical company, or that I'm not being taken advantage of, which is how I feel right now, because they're and yeah, it's a feeling that that's sort of a switch, in your mind, where I mean, like before you saw some of these signals, like the variable pricing thing, where you're like okay, yeah, maybe isn't it's not that bad. And I like, okay, yeah, now everything makes sense. Also, the push back to pull their exclusive on PC. Like, yeah, I mean, now it makes sense. Like, no, it wasn't about the money. The fact that, yeah, they were planning to do this, and they want to make sure that they have a way to compete with other with digital only stores, because they know they're going to be compared to that. Like they know that then okay, what are you offering that's different from Steam or GOG or the Epic Game Store? How are you better? And yeah, they're gonna like the only thing they have is their exclusive. Other than that, they're gonna have a hard time proving that, because yeah, they're more expensive. They have shittier servers. And yeah, technically, if you buy a PC, you can play the game better, with the max settings, etc. So you don't have to compromise. So yeah, I really, I mean, look, I don't want it to fail, but on the other hand, maybe they need to get a kick in the nuts, and the PS6 generation is going to be more disappointing than they had anticipated. And yeah, in the ideal situation, the people who made this decision would be the ones to get the axe, but probably they're going to just fuck over the teams that we love, and just cut their costs there, and fire people, just going all Asha on their own studios, just to make ends meet, and that sucks. And that, again, these are consequences that people don't think about, because yeah, if this has far more far-reaching consequences that eventually impacts them, that eventually they're burning a lot of goodwill for the next generation, and that has an actual impact. Yeah, okay, then don't be expect to be spared from that. You will be you will learn, you will notice that, you will feel that in your wallet for increased prices, and you will see that possibly one of your favorite studios will get axed, or will get hit by it, and your favorite game will be delayed, or will not come out in the way that you hoped it would be. um, and yeah, that sucks. Like I would love all their students who have given me such great experiences, that to continue building those experiences, unencumbered by the fact that their company is struggling or whatever. And this is like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I know probably the digital only gamers will think I'm exaggerating, that being a drama queen, whatever. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Like, cool, you can think that, and you can think it doesn't affect you. Yeah, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But in the end, like, I think reality will catch up with you. It's not gonna be pretty. And I think it's a good time to check out Will's channel, for example, for a lot of tips of how to preserve your physical games and your physical hardware, but also, like, think about what you're going to do next generation, because yeah, the PlayStation that you knew isn't going to be PlayStation that it's going to be at that point in time. Is that the future you want to support, or is that where you want to invest everything on what's potentially the worst version of that digital storefront, or are you gonna think about other ways to enjoy gaming? Again, hopefully Nintendo will keep up with their physical releases, and not double down on their game key cards. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not no way in hell that Xbox is gonna pull a funny one and say, hey, we're gonna drive to it's never going to happen, but we can dream. We can we can have copium. But yeah, I think probably the most ideal way forward is primary game playing PC. If you want DRM free games, GOG is an option for you. If you want to own games and they are available and they're not on Game Card Key, then Switch 2 will be a great option. And yeah, PlayStation 6 is just going to be
I
that
I
that
gotta
that
ask you this:
that device that needs to
if
play exclusives. Yeah, go ahead.
if Microsoft uh, pull a fast one and said we're gonna keep physical, do you think PlayStation would reverse that action?
I mean,
Um,
Xbox not gonna do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
number
I,
one, they're
I'm
not.
having
They're
a
not gonna do
conversation.
that.
I'm having a conversation. I'm genuinely curious. Oh,
I mean, number one, they're not going to do
what?
that. Number two, it wouldn't matter for a lot of people because they ultimately wouldn't. It would still be one of the worst places to play. Like it's not a good alternative. Like they don't compete at that level. So it's like,
It's like they barely do physical now.
yeah, exactly.
So for them to kind of revert and be like, yeah, we're gonna go back like that, they ain't got the infrastructure for that. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
and,
say
and
that
their
as well.
and their games are not actually
Yeah,
only
on the disc. Yeah, playable
yeah.
offline. Exactly.
But yeah,
It's like the most they could do is just be like, here's a disk drive for backwards compatibility of the disc that you have.
which I could see them doing.
I'm simply trying to see what would it take to have PlayStation reverse it. That's it.
Money.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's it.
money.
But
Like,
but
Change in
people
management.
are unsubscribing and everything like that. And again,
okay,
we just
okay, so you gotta stop basing things on what a company has publicly said alone. So your assumption until PlayStation comes out and tells you verbatim that they're switching something is that there's no effect. That you gotta like that's not how major changes happen. Like when they have to witness the bottom falling out first before they're even gonna remotely get ready to say something. So like that's what I'm saying. Like that's not gonna happen overnight.
the only way to do that is for people actually not buying their exclusive.
No, that is not the case. Again, you're it's like sometimes you're not paying attention. What is the biggest financial on PlayStation's finances? What is the biggest revenue generator? Do you remember?
Live service.
It's third party sales is what it is. So it has nothing to do with their exclusives. Their exclusives ain't shit compared to their third party sales. Third party sales and microtransactions are what is the biggest thing, but the point is third party. If people are switching to these other consoles or other platforms like the Switch 2 or switching or getting rid of their
PC
PlayStation and
or
switching to
Xbox.
PC or whatever, like they're switching these third party purchases elsewhere. That is where the effect is going to be most felt. But again, that's not going to be felt overnight because people already have hardware currently. Like that's what I said. PlayStation to me though is still underestimating the same way that Xbox did. Right? They thought Phil said the most important generation to lose or whatever. The only reason that was an issue for them is two factors. They didn't have the games and their games weren't actually exclusive. So like
And also they wanted to go digital, what do you call it, with the DRM and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, they made a bunch of mistakes in the beginning, but I'm talking about later. They still had recovery
Okay, yeah,
room.
later
They
no,
had
no,
a ton
later
of
I get it.
recovery room from 2013 from all those mistakes. They still had a ton of room. If they still had the games and their games weren't on PC, like they could have definitely been in a completely different position now. Like that's the difference. But PlayStation, like I said, PlayStation's biggest generator is the third party. So people leaving the platform entirely is heavily going to be felt. But people also, like I said, lessening the investment is the big thing that, like we've said, I think that they're not seeing. Like I don't have to not be on PlayStation. Like I said, like we're talking about a significant drop, right? Like I've told you, just this generation alone, we've had five PS5s. We've had including the one that we got for my nieces and them. That is three regular PS5s and two PS5 Pros. That's five. Not to mention the two PlayStation Portals, about 15 controllers, including the Edge controller, and then, like I said, several hundred games from this generation. Taking that level of investment away is going to be massively felt. And I'm not the only one. Because again, like we've said, you're underestimating people who do have the money to invest in other platforms and things of that nature. The same way, like I told you,
Oh yeah,
my
he
timeline.
literally is about to pull out and buy a PC. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people don't have to get rid of their PlayStation. His PlayStation is right there when he wants to play any of his catalog that he has from this generation or whatever he wants on PlayStation still at that point. But his movement is he's already starting a lateral movement over to PC and is going to start that investment over there or continue rather because Weeb has been on PC already. So again, that's another underestimation that someone has to completely abandon your platform to affect your bottom line. That's not true. Like I said, it's going to be a massive difference or a massive swing come later because like I said, if ultimately things are not any different by 2028, it'll be even worse by then. And like I said, there's other factors that are going to be coming into play. Like I said, their biggest problem would be if in 2028 the stabilization of RAM and all that stuff has already actually started to happen, and that those things have started to lessen, and the $1,500 range PCs start coming back into play, even $1,800, right? For like a higher end PC starts to come back into play, and you can still manage it right now. With certain sales and things of that nature. So it's not gone, right? It's just a lot harder to do. But if those become the norm again, like that's going to be even more of a problem for them. And like I said, it's not just them, right? People keep underestimating who wants these. Like I said, like my niece already has a PC. My nephew's PC is built already, and the upcoming youngest nephew already wants a PC. Now he's too young. I don't think he's responsible enough to have one. Um, and it'll be a while before that's even a consideration. But the point is, that's 3 out of 4 kids already, and the fourth one, the oldest, doesn't really game like that. But even she mentioned wanting a PC. So again, kids that grew up on PlayStation are wanting and asking for PCs or already have one. Like that's that should be a concern that the upcoming generation is losing the attachment they had to that. And the oldest, her favorite game of all time is The Last of Us, and she's still just like, well, I mean, like we said, this generation they haven't put out games on that level where people feel like they need to be invested in the platform still, because like we said, this generation, like there hasn't been another Last of Us. They've still put out a solid set of games. Like I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't enjoy them, but the consistency and cadence of those releases hasn't been on the same level. And their de facto exclusives are going away. Like again, as a people who are JRPG fans, a lot of JRPG fans have gotten into Steam via the Steam Deck, and now also getting into PC. They've got more JRPGs there than ever before. Even now, like we said, Vanillaware is now all of a sudden open to going to PC as well, which has never been a thing. So that's like the last bastion going over, and it's like again, like it just feels like PlayStation's not paying attention to any of this, and they're also in very much danger of running into that same area where, like I said, where Xbox guys thought for the longest time there was no issue. coming from 360 to Xbox One. And like I said, they had that initial drop from 88 million, or 86 to 88 million, somewhere around there, to 55 million. And people were like, "Oh, it's still fine. It's still fine." No, it wasn't fine. That should have been your first sign of something is very, very wrong. You dropped, basically 25 to 30 million down in the very next generation. And that's what I keep telling people. If next generation, between the pricing and all the other things, PlayStation drops to about 60 to 70 million, that'll be a significant drop, because then the follow-up generation, they're going to drop even worse if they even continue after that. Like, again, there's a lot of things that happen in a lot of time, and people kind of lose perspective when it comes to the amount of time. But when you've seen the pattern and you've seen things happening, like, you can see the writing on the wall. And it's like, companies' ability to see that and react to it before it gets to the point of no return is what separates the companies from the companies that are in a failing state, versus companies that actually revitalize and get things done. um, and like I said, PlayStation continuing to focus on, announcing to continue to focus on live service, is also another, again, like Morgan had stated about that. She gets it, but it's also kind of short sighted at the same time, because it'd be one thing if your single player tentpole studios were all firing on all cylinders and they all were releasing 2 to 3 games a generation, but they're not. Like, you need to get that stuff in order
No,
before you
not at
start
all. It's
pursuing new
literally the
things.
definition of what not to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was a terrible generation for them. They
Hmm?
wasted over half a generation, developing a game that won't see the light of day. Like, your premier studio. And again, that was one of the first concerns when people said, "Hey, if you're going live service, give it to all these new teams and all these nobodies that you brought up, and go from there." And then, that's one thing. But if you are now, you're messing with your tentpole titles, and now they have less when they need more than ever to have, their exclusive shining and showing a reason, to be on their platform. So again, I think they're definitely significantly underestimating things. I think internally, uh, which is not surprising, I think the executives believe the pedigree and longstanding relationship PlayStation has had is just going to stand on its own 2 feet no matter what they do, and that's one of their biggest mistakes, because that's, again, arrogant Sony showing up again. You know, get another job. You know, 599
Yeah.
US dollars, like, stuff again. And it's like, you don't want people remembering your worst time, when your upcoming generation is on the horizon. Like I said, that the stuff's not going to be like, I'm not going to tell people to not purchase, do something silly like not purchase GTA 6, right? That's not realistic. That is probably the most anticipated game in generations. Like, I'm not ridiculous, but just because people still purchase that game doesn't mean other things and other factors are not happening that are going to affect them. And that's the things that I'm saying people, that PlayStation is underestimating. And you're not going to see that overnight. Like I said, you're not going to get that visceral reaction from, the current regime at PlayStation, because they just don't react that way, right? They're not Asha Sharma, and the way that Xbox reacts, and they come out and talk to people. They're never going to be that, right? Um, but like I said, when the money starts getting affected, when those bottom lines start to drop, they'll adjust. They definitely will, because they don't have a choice. Um, but yeah, I think
So,
they're just not
is
seeing it.
this another generation that's gonna be felt? Cause so from what you're
there's
saying, it
there's
doesn't seem.
multiple things. I'm not saying it's
I know,
not.
I know. There are multiple
I'm not
variations.
saying it's not going to happen now. I'm telling you right now, people are not going to overnight. Everybody's not overnight jumping to PC. That's what I'm telling you. People are in realistic situations where they're still, number one. Everybody who
So
games
why?
is not on social media. You need to remember that a large portion of these people are not on social media, and they're not in this conversation. So that you got to stop counting everybody as a part of this conversation, because they're not.
I know. Twitter is an echo chamber and so on. But my point is, why is then everybody surprised that PlayStation didn't what you call it roll it back.
I mean, of course, people are surprised. I mean, they were silent for 6 days, didn't say anything. They were clearly reacting to it, regardless of them saying nothing or not. They
I
clearly
don't think they care.
reacted.
I don't think they care.
Whether again, like I said, I don't give a fuck what they care about. That's irrelevant. The point is they're going to be affected, is what I'm telling you. This isn't a.
Yeah, there's
I
going to
don't
be a
care what Nishino thinks. I don't give a fuck. Like he is irrelevant because the only thing that he is supposed to do is get them to thrive. When you're making decisions like this, and the outcome is ultimately a factor that shows a drop in financials, you're going to run into that issue. What I'm telling you is just because it's not immediate, because the current circumstances
doesn't
of
mean it
gaming,
doesn't
it
exist. I
doesn't
get
mean
it.
it's not happening. Exactly. Because like I said, them announcing it now makes it look like there's nothing, because it's hidden by people pre-ordering GTA and the current state of gaming, right? Like, people are not going to stop gaming overnight. Everybody doesn't have the money to flip and just build, a 5070 Ti rig tomorrow. I'm not saying that. Your danger, though, is that you've got people looking other places. You've got people, like, hey, I'm going to primary my Switch too. You got people looking elsewhere when they shouldn't. That is what PlayStation had for a long time, is that people
Hmm.
were content with PlayStation as their primary, even no matter what they had. And now a lot of people are reconsidering, and a lot of people are in a position to do so between now and 2028 and beyond. And that is where their
The
problems are going to
fact that
show.
they lost Wave is insane. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're losing some of the heaviest people that I know to invest into the platform. Weave is another person that invests thousands of dollars into the PlayStation ecosystem, purchasing games, over time. Like, there's tons of people we know that are like that. Once you start losing stuff like people like Viper, right? Viper pre-orders, like, thousands of dollars worth of games all the time. And it's like, again, you
All
start
the time.
losing these people. And again, I'm not telling you it's lost, right? That's the difference. I'm having a discussion about where they are now and what they've said. Now, if they switch things up and things turn around, and they're talking to people and having a very real conversation about increasing security and doing all
Can
these other
they
things, then sure.
can they get back away from it? Let's
Can
say they turn it around. Like, can they be trusted again then?
I mean, I'm not. You mean
Because
you
this
can
is
never
this
fully
a
trust any of these
royal fuck up.
companies. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, it's a major mess up, but you can never fully trust any of these companies, right? Regardless, you can just move accordingly in the best way that's possible, and that's why I said, for right now, PlayStation is the worst digital ecosystem as it stands, which is crazy because they weren't for a long time. It was always Nintendo. Like I said, Nintendo has made strides in the meantime, and PlayStation is in a bad way in a bunch of places, while also having that whole movie discrepancy where they, removed all those movies, and like it's compiled issues, and PlayStation has said basically nothing about any of it, and that is their problem. And they're not promising anything better for the future. They stated that in that statement, but told you no way. They've explained nothing about how they plan to do that, and their source is basically, they put out a statement, and they basically said, "Trust me, bro." That's what came from PlayStation. That's what everybody looked at that shit and read. PlayStation said, "Trust me, we're going to make the PlayStation Store better. You're still going to have competing prices. You're still going to have this, that, and the third." Yeah, so you say, but
Huge.
so far you've been full of shit. So why should I believe you?
Yeah, like literally, I'm not making it about me, but I'm literally about to buy Rise of Ronin for $20. Maximum that I saw is $30 physical, but if I would to buy it digital, it would be like 50. And I've never seen Rise of Ronin go digital that low. That's the biggest issue with PlayStation like that. It's gonna be interesting
Yeah, it
what
is.
they're gonna do.
Morgan, did you have anything else you wanted to weigh in on this? This response or lack of response from PlayStation, and your stance going forward.
Not really. I mean, I pretty much reacted the way I thought I would, just pretending like nothing happened. um, and just going about their day. I feel bad for the developers and the teams going to Comic-Con soon because there's gonna like because nobody's really gonna care about the games. Like Insomniac and
Yeah, it's not gonna be pretty.
Cinematica and the Marvel's Tokon team are going to Comic-Con in a couple weeks or whatever. And
It,
yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna care about the games. They're just gonna be bombarding them about questions about physical, even though they can't. They have no sway on any of that. They're
the
just gonna be like, I mean, we
problem,
can't do anything about that, bro. And
the
it's just
problem
gonna
is
suck.
the fact that the studio behind PlayStation, they are still talking about physical Wolverine. I think Laufey also physical.
Yes, they
So
Yeah, but
tweeted
I
the
that.
mean,
fact,
they're talking about it because people asked. I mean, it wasn't just a hey, we're
no, but
physical,
they
we're
still
taking a stance.
making
It
it
was just
so.
the people
Well,
replying to people's
well,
questions.
on the bright side, we do know.
They were addressing the concerns that people were putting in their commenting on their posts and trying to give some assurance that say, hey, listen,
Yeah,
we heard that
yeah,
you're asking about
PlayStation.
physicals. We're letting you know now that we are putting out physical for those games at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation fucked up so bad they brought you back.
But yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, Kay, I saw that you jumped in. Um, I'm assuming you wanted to have a conversation on this one before we move on.
Yeah, sure. What was the original question?
No, I mean this is just a
Because I popped
follow
in
up.
like
This is just a
mid
follow up
conversation. Oh,
to last week. I mean, where we had the discussion where I told you we talked about
they,
the physical stuff, but
yeah.
this is just a lack of reaction from PlayStation, and basically your stance on it going forward. Basically, how you're going to deal with it or move forward accordingly.
I think they handled this uh not in the best way. um they like you guys were saying they didn't even say, hey, listen, we know that you're not going to like this, but and then give reason, like, and like they gave like kind of like just really surface level reasons, and then they didn't even follow up with saying, hey, the things that you're going to be losing from physical, we have these plans to beef up the benefits of digital at the very least. Like, we're going to address some of the concerns that come with doing digital only. We're going to try and emulate, like digitally emulate the benefits that come with physical, and try to apply it digitally in a digital sense. Like, Nate, like we were talking, the other night, where like maybe like put in some kind of a digital online borrowing system, you know, where you can be like, hey, you can let a friend borrow your digital copy for X amount of time, and you don't have to be online, or you don't have to do the game share where, you hand over the controller and it's only limited for like what, 20 minutes or something like that, um, so that would help with borrowing digitally, like, and address maybe like the security issues, maybe rework the TOS, the wording, and put that out. Um, like, it was just like it almost feels like one day someone walked in the office and they said, you know what, guys? We're gonna make a shit ton of more money if we just fucking dropped physical. And then everyone stood up and clapped and said, "All right, post it now." I know that's not what they did, but it's just
No, they basically
they
that's what they did
it's just
because from the look
no,
of
no, no,
it,
no, no. I guarantee you, they've been thinking about this for quite a while. In fact, I guarantee you that they've been thinking about this since they put out the PS5 and said, "Hey, we're gonna have an all digital version." And then when they came out with the
but
Pro, and they said it's digital, but we're gonna give you a disk drive, right? Like you have to buy separately. But the main thing is that it's digital, you, digital only, and you have to buy the attachment. they were already thinking about going. They were already they've been thinking about dropping physical. I think they just weren't quite sure how to actually drop the bad news, and they did not successfully that they weren't successful at that, and they're not handling the aftermath well at all either, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
They're acting like nothing did. Nobody is angry. Nothing is happening. So it kind of it's like to me. It's like it feels like maybe there's a civil war at PlayStation
I mean, it is what it is.
because
Like I said, they either say something or they don't, and I'll move accordingly. That's where I'm
Yeah,
at.
I think
So
what you just need to worry about is figuring out what your plan is going to be. If PlayStation decides to react to this and do something, or if they don't, what are you going to do? That's
exactly,
what you got to figure
that's
out.
the more important thing
I'm
from this
gonna fix my
conversation.
PC and see what I can
Yeah,
do with that. Yeah.
yeah. And like at the tail end of your conversation, Nate, was we yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna see any real um I guess consequences from the gamers towards or consumers, customers towards PlayStation until a little bit until later down the road, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we just got the bad news like with like it's been just like a week and a half, right? But there hasn't like they haven't gotten rid of physical yet. That's not going to be until 2028, and we haven't gone into the PS6 yet, which obviously that's going to be digital only. And so you only at right now everyone's at uh their plan like people are planning where they want to go, where they want to invest in next, um or if they're okay with it and they're going to stay and they're going to keep doing what they're doing, and so I've already seen a couple of people that I follow. They go, "Hey, look, I went and bought a Switch 2." You know, um, and then some people already said, "Hey, I'm already looking at computer parts. I'm starting to put one together." You know, um, so I don't think PlayStation will actually really see it any real fallout until like it's going to be a little bit down the road before they actually see anything, to be honest. So right now, um, like they said, they think this is just noise. I think it's more than just noise. I think it will impact them more than they think. Um, how big the actual impact will be, I don't know. I really don't. Um,
Do you
because
think? Do you think?
like the number the ratio of casual gamers versus people like all of us. It's
Oh,
I mean, you're gonna have way more casual gamers that are gonna say, I don't care. I'm still gonna get this. I'm still gonna stay. You know. So like
do you
there
think
is
it?
gonna be an impact. How big it's gonna be, I can't predict that. I don't know, but
Do you think it's
there
gonna
will be an
be
impact though.
less impacted? Do you think it's gonna be less impacted if Xbox also goes digital only?
I don't know why you're saying this thing with Xbox.
You keep bringing Xbox
Xbox
into this, and this
is
Because I'm
literally no
saying
no no wait
because
wait
they
let me
are.
explain. Xbox is literally fucking irrelevant. Like I would be Switch 2 exclusive user before I would be Xbox. Like that is how irrelevant they are. That's why I said I don't think you realize how irrelevant Xbox is right now. Like the only way Xbox exists in the future for me is on PC. That's it. Like Xbox themselves is irrelevant right now. They do not matter. Them being physical or not does not matter to me. And a bunch of people are not going to switch the next generation and be like, "Oh, I'm going to hop on Xbox cuz they're going to continue to support physical." Like no, like we said, most of their games don't even play offline now. Like so it's not going to matter. There's nothing Xbox can do that is
I think
going to
people
matter.
have already just assumed that Xbox was going to be digital anyway. That's why everybody was surprised that it
Yeah.
was PlayStation saying it first, because everybody was just like, this is just the inevitability of Xbox. So no, Xbox announcing being all digital, which I'm pretty sure 99% they will be, won't cause anything because they were already that way anyway. Like
Exactly. Yeah,
they were worse they were worse digital. Like they were like 90 something percent digital already. Like they're far more a digital platform than PlayStation is at the moment. So I don't nobody would care.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's
you
I
not
know,
going to have any
it
yeah.
waves.
it's the natural progression of Xbox. Nobody would give a shit if they came out and announced it. Like there's a rumor that they're going to be announcing next week their digital to or their physical to digital program where you can put your physical disc and turn them into, you know, digital licenses.
Hmm.
At least it's something. It's a plan. It's putting it out there. It's
It's
not
better
going
what PlayStation is offering if
yeah,
that
it's
happens.
something, but it's not if anything people will just use that to dunk on PlayStation, but it won't do anything for
Hmm.
Xbox. Like
I
it's not
think
going to be
Xbox
like
is kind of just hanging back and observing everything at the
yeah,
moment. Or be like,
I'm
we're
sure
just
they're
gonna
very
see how this
happy
goes.
that PlayStation took the brunt of this. And if Asha's smart, which she's kind of proven she is, she'll just even though they're going to be a digital platform, which they are going to be, still look for ways to make it a better digital platform. Be like, okay, where we'll offer protections, we'll do this, we'll update the store, stuff like that. Like, you know, to kind of put them in a different position than PlayStation. Like we'll have digital protections, but that's not going to do anything for Xbox. They're not going to all of a sudden gain 30, 40 plus more million buyers now all of a sudden because they have digital protection. People will just go to PC because why would I buy an Xbox? Like there's no point. Everything you have is on a better platform where I can get the stuff cheaper. So it's like there's nothing about Xbox, you know, no offense to people who like it, but it's just nothing about it, especially if it's going to be as expensive as it's claimed to be, 1,200 plus, probably 1,500 you know, she's saying price points or prices of these components will go up 5 times more next year when they're planning on building this thing and shipping this thing, then there's just really no point in getting one. So that's why people are saying Xbox is just kind of irrelevant to the conversation, even though you keep trying to bring them up. Like, well, what if they do that? Like, PlayStation doesn't care what Xbox does because they already know they're
Well, I
dead.
mean, Omar has a hate boner for Xbox. He can't help it.
No,
No, he just keeps thinking that
I know. I
if
keep
Xbox does
thinking
this
that way
thing
because
and
these
it'll
two are
pressure
fighting to
PlayStation to
be
do
to be the
something.
market leader. So
I
say
mean,
it.
I mean, people Xbox did Game Pass, and people kept trying to pressure PlayStation in doing that, saying, "Oh, that's the future. This is what's gonna happen." And PlayStation was like, "No, fuck no, we're not doing that." And then we see how that worked out. So it's like PlayStation isn't gonna move because Xbox does something. You know, they don't really care because again,
I mean,
Xbox has become irrelevant to the conversation.
what PlayStation has done should already tell you how inflated their ego is. They really don't give two shits about how Xbox is moving, and they don't really care how they're going to move. The only the only thing that they would care about is if Xbox made another move that showed that you could get away with something and you could make more money from it, like Xbox
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, something like that. Like that. Oh, we can make money from that. Oh, we can charge people for online. Oh shit, let's do that.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay, now we taking notes. Now we taking notes.
That's the only time they give a fuck about what Xbox does. When they plan on doing something, but they rather Xbox do it first, and you know get fire under their ass, and be like, okay, so now that the fire's
Hmm.
cooled off, we can do that now.
Right, they just
That's
sneak in the back door.
yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing that too. Yeah, yeah. But that's really it. Like I don't think there's nothing. I don't think there's any Xbox move. Like again, even if like I said, and Asha, excuse me, announces this program next week. Again, people will use it to dunk on PlayStation, but it's not going to cause this mass exodus where people are going to just switch to Xbox. It's just not.
Hmm.
In the words of Black Flag, that ship has sailed. Um, but
I
speak.
will say that for me, real quick, just for me personally, with PlayStation going all digital, it to me, it makes it a um a a PC that's just not appealing to me. I would rather go. I'd rather have Tony and Priscilla help me build a decent priced PC, and then I have more options through Steam and GOG and all any other storefronts. Have access to more even more indie titles, and like literally the only thing I would be missing out is on PlayStation. exclusives. That'd be the only thing I'd be missing out on. Um, and if the PS6 is anything like the PS5 was, we're gonna have PS5, PS6 hybrid games until like mid-cycle, so I can just get the
Probably be even
PS5
longer than
version.
that, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if it
Yeah,
was like 90% of the generation would be cross-gen just because of how these prices are right
yeah,
now. And they know that they're not going to be able to push
exactly.
everybody onto a
So,
$1,000 PS6.
but
Cross-gen will be
then
a thing for a long time.
there is
Yeah.
literally no reason to go next gen then.
I mean, was there a reason to go next gen with PS5?
You, um, we
There
actually
you
had a
go.
few games that were next gen.
We had like one or two. That was
Well,
it for
well,
like
for
the
me it
first 2 or
was
3 years.
a better graphics, way fucking faster loading speeds,
Yeah,
and there were certain mechanics that as they claim could only be done on the PS5 and not done on the PS4, like stuff like in the Ratchet and Clank game, or there was some stuff within Horizon Forbidden West, especially in the DLC, that they were able to implement like weather systems and cloud systems that they couldn't do on the PS4. You had to have PS5 for Returnal, like stuff like that. So
Yeah. I mean,
um,
yeah, there was a
for me
couple,
personally, it made it worth it.
a few games that were PS5 exclusive, but for the most part, most of the
Right.
games were cross-gen, and that'll be the same for PS6. And to answer your question, what's the point? I mean, the point is if you want it. Like that's been the point of every new
Yeah.
console generation.
Yeah,
It's just
I
more
agree.
power, more graphics. And if you want it, it's there. If you don't, you can stay. I mean, there's still people sticking to the PS4 right now. So, I mean, you know, and they're perfectly
Right.
fine with that. It's just going to be an option if you like that. That's the purpose of a new generation. It's just here comes some more power for you, and if you want it, here you go. Right. Um, so that'll be the incentive to get the PS6. The question is like, is that going to be worth $1,000 plus to people? For the majority, probably not. Which is again why the cross gen will be a thing for a long time. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was for most of the gen because of these high prices. Um, but yeah,
Um,
it's going to be interesting to
honestly,
see.
I my prediction is that they're gonna put it out under 1,000, but I don't think it's gonna be less than 800.
That
Does that make sense?
9.99.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
it'll be under 1,000
According
999.
to from
No,
what
I
that
think it'll be like
we
800, 850, maybe 900, but I don't think. I think
I
PlayStation. Well, they should know that. I don't think that they're going to be able to get away with $1,000 console. Like it'll just be the PS3 all over again.
I
Now, of
mean,
course, you have people that can afford that shit. They're gonna be like, "I'm day one, no matter what." And we're like, "Yeah, bitch,
yeah.
you Scrooge McDuck, like fucking drowning in money." Okay, like
Yeah, the problem is PlayStation says they have no plans to heavily subsidize these consoles.
yeah, it's the
And
cost
um
for
and it won't be something they do. I think they're fully aware that the majority of people cannot buy consoles that are 1,000 plus. But at the end of the day, I think they're willing to take that hit with at least the first couple years, just to be able to get something out because there's just no guarantee of when these prices are going to go back down. Let's say they delay the console to 2028, 2029, right? Who's to say that the prices of components don't even get higher? Those, you wait another year and it's even higher than it was 2027, or you wait 2029, it's even higher than it was the past 2 years. And now you're stuck with an even higher price for next gen, right? So I think PlayStation is just gonna pull the trigger and go 2027, 2028. And they're again, they're aware that this is obscenely high, but they can't or they won't subsidize heavily for this new system. I think they'll probably, subsidize maybe 50, maybe $100, but that's it. And they'll just hope that on the back end, and again, that's why they're moving to all digital because they realize they're going to lose a lot of money, not being able to sell into the next generation. So they're kind of trying to squeeze what they can out of the people that are in the store, right? Because now that you can only buy, or supposedly, however they plan to do this, buying from the digital store, they'll get a bigger cut, right? So they're trying to make up for the back end that they're going to
Right.
lose by not getting people to be able to come over to the PS6. And that's why they're doing like, okay, digital, it's gonna be digital only. You're gonna buy from our store because they want this extra money because they are fully aware they're gonna lose more on the back end when it comes to hardware. I guess they're hoping that it'll inevitably come down in 28 and 29. Maybe they can roll back prices, but again, that's we don't know what the future is gonna hold with these components and how shit is going. And according to Asha, it's just only gonna get worse. So I don't know, man. I feel like they wouldn't have pushed this all digital shit. Like, I'm not trying to give them an out or anything, but I think they would have waited for going all digital if these component prices weren't the way they were. I think they would have waited another generation. But now they feel like, oh man, we're gonna not get what we usually get when it comes to launch numbers with our hardware. It's gonna be really bad because it's gonna go out of console range and it's gonna go into PC range with our prices, and that's not gonna go well with sales. So we have to make it up somewhere. So let's just get rid of the disk drive and these factories, and let's funnel everyone to our store so we can get a bigger cut out of these games that we're making. This all
You know
all this
what's
shit
gonna
just
go
sucks.
next? You know what's gonna go
What?
next after discs are gone?
What?
Home consoles in general. They're gonna say, we're not. There's not gonna be any more home consoles. We're going directly cloud.
Oh God, they don't even have the. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, but I just don't like. They don't even have the infrastructure for cloud right now. Like the amount of chips and servers you would need to manage the 100+ million customers that PlayStation has on the cloud. They just do not have that.
That's why
And
they're making those micro lenses.
right, and like where they get their money from, the hardware for PlayStation is just a funnel to the PS Store, which is where they make most of their money.
Right.
The
So
hardware
take
is
that
just
out
the
too.
gateway.
Take that
Yeah.
out too.
Oh, they wouldn't have
Just
anywhere for people to go to get to shop on the PS Store, which is what they want.
oh no. Make it an app on smart TVs.
Oh God, that'd be
And then you
terrible.
just Bluetooth you, and then you get the app like you do
I
for
think remember that's what
remote play.
Xbox
Like for
wanted,
you
and it didn't work.
Bluetooth your controller to the
Yeah,
TV.
I mean that's what Xbox wanted with the little Amazon Fire Sticks to their TVs, and it didn't pan out because there was there was
Well,
too
that
many
was then.
logistics.
That was then.
Then that was only
They
2 years
they
ago.
they have they technology moves fast. It moves fast.
Nah, they don't have that type of tech right now. Nah, that's not happening.
Okay. All right. PS7 will
Well,
be the last console.
tech
That's
is
like another
tech is
20
gonna be
years.
moving without a bunch of people, because it's a bunch of people that don't have that supported infrastructure to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people don't even have the internet to to be able to play like that. They be losing so many people doing that. It's yeah, this next generation is going to
Give,
be
give it
really
20
interesting to see
years.
what happens. Not 20 years. Let's see if
Give it
PlayStation still
20 years.
exists in 20 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's if PlayStation even around.
Kay, question: does it affect you as you're often on the road?
I actually made a post about where I love physical disc. I bought the physical disc version of the PS5 because I like having choices, and there have been many occasions where I wanted the physical disc for a game, and also as a truck driver on the road, for Horizon Forbidden West. I actually pre-ordered a physical disc because if I wanted it digitally, I did not have the means to download it. And so all I did was I walk into Best Buy, get my physical, put it in the console, and then bam, I'm playing it day one.
But I have a question for you then.
Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to play it day one.
But what do you do about the games that do come, like you need to download them, even physical? Are you screwed then?
If what?
There are games that come physical, but you still need to download them.
That's what she
You
just said.
talk you're talking about like something like like it has to be on, even though it's a physical disc. You still have to have online access to play it.
No, you still need to download it first.
Yeah,
It's still,
you can
yeah.
you can download games offline.
Yeah, I'm about to
Like
say
you're
the
like
game's on the disc. It
the
can be
disc.
downloaded
Really?
offline.
Yeah,
Omar, oh my God.
No.
That's one of the
other
main
other
arguments as to why people
yeah
want physical discs is because you don't with PlayStation predominantly most like 99% of their games you don't need online to download the game physically. It's on the disc. Like that's one of the main talking points that people have against PlayStation going all digital.
I downloaded Pragmata.
Okay, Omar, cool.
I don't know
No,
what that means.
I downloaded Pragmata despite it being physical. Like
What?
it
See
still
what
needs to
happens. The
No,
information.
Omar Pragmata is playable on disk. What you downloaded is probably a patch, which you don't need
No,
to
the
play the.
game, because it was literally 80 or something. I forgot the exact price.
Omar, do you
Even
know the
Taros,
difference between
I
copying the
downloaded
disc and
even
downloading?
Taros, even Taros. I downloaded Taros. I couldn't play before until Taros.
Because you were online. You're not listening to us. If you are online, it is going to auto proc the update.
Yes.
Of course you can't play because it knows the update is there. You're online. We're talking about you being offline and copying it from the disk. That's what we're
Yes.
telling you.
You have to turn off your internet access. Otherwise, it's just going to auto update, patch everything.
Yeah. It's like if you turn your PlayStation offline, you can still download the game, Omar. If you have the physical disc, which is for somebody who's so physical,
That's legit something I didn't know. Okay.
you claiming you were so physical, but you didn't know that.
I am more physical because of the prices. Not
Oh
because
my
not
God.
my PlayStation for the longest have been always connected online until
Mm.
the whole water situation that happened.
But we're explaining
Other
to
than
you
that,
it still copies from the disk first, and then what you download
Yes.
is the patch. That if someone who was just on metered internet should know that issue. If you have 15 gigs of data on a metered connection on like a hotspot, well obviously, and the patch is only like 1.5 gigs, you'd obviously rather copy the game from the disk and just download the patch. That's what she does. That's the difference. But if you were getting a game online and the game is 40 or 50 or 60 gigs and you download it, you're downloading 40 to 60 gigabytes of raw data. Meaning you
Yeah,
would
if you had
immediately
if
exceed
you
it.
have turned your PlayStation offline when you downloaded Pragmata, it would have been fine. You could have just downloaded it off the disc because
Yeah.
it can be played offline. But because you tried to because it was connected to that measly ass internet, it was trying to download patches and shit. That's
Exactly.
why it was taking so long. So next time if your internet is out or you're in something, you check to see if a game can be downloaded because not all games can be played offline, but
okay,
there
that's
are a
okay.
lot.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
PlayStation, predominantly with their first party, their games can be played offline. That's why people like PlayStation and they don't want this whole digital thing to happen because a lot of the games on disc can be played offline, which was a big talking point, which I'm surprised as much as you're on Twitter, you didn't see that. But that is a big talking point that people are using and why they're upset about the games going to the exclusive to the PlayStation Store. They want a physical disc to be able to download things offline.
Gotcha.
I can
Thank you
send
for
you a
explaining.
video that explains it and that they show you that they were able to download the game offline.
Yeah, I mean there's
I'm gonna check
plenty
it
of
right
channels
now. Thank
dedicated
you
to that.
for sending.
Yeah, look shout out to Will. Subscribe to Will's channel because that's literally what he does. The entire like a major part of his channel is asking, does the game download offline? He just did it for Mouse PI, where he disconnected his PlayStation, put the disc in, and he verified that yes, it does download offline. And that's literally a section
Yeah.
of his YouTube channel that he dedicates to testing games to see if they can be played offline.
Yeah. Morgan, why don't you send Omar a link? So
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, enough of
But yeah, I
that.
mean that's why I went and got the physical disc, because then I didn't have the internet access, popped it in, and then I was playing it day one. I even called into work that night. I was like, I'm sick, so I keep
As you
playing.
should.
Okay, so moving on to speak about Xbox. Xbox recently, despite all the news and backlash for PlayStation, Xbox announced a major shift and reset for their platform, for the company as a whole going forward. You have obviously Asha Sharma, went on to speak about this stuff. They announced a plan to cut 3,200 jobs over the course of the next year. 1,600 have already been cut in this first hit. Obviously, morale and things of that nature would be low at a company like that, where you're, essentially, Logic mentioned it. You survived the culling, right? Only to be told there's 1,600 more to go, as if that's supposed to make you feel better that you survived. The current cut of the initial 1,600. A lot of these teams are not particularly in a completely functioning state. A lot of people stated a lot of these cuts didn't even really kind of make sense, as far as who was being let go. Programmers and coders and so on that have been on some of these teams for a very long time. Obviously, some of the people with the union for Bethesda were very vocal about that. Saying, they expect us to just take this and, lie down and basically not react to this. And yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, if you're under any of these companies, you were originally purchased, I mean, to come under the wing of, the big Microsoft and be told, hey, make your best, make your best and don't worry about nothing else. That was the motto, kind of going forward from when they were first purchased, from a lot of these companies, right? There was no checks and balances put in place. It's the one of the former Xbox, um, one of the former Xbox executives stated, they forgot the trust but verify portion of being in management. So a lot of these companies spent like crazy, got out of hand, and again, like we told people, that bill was going to come due. The investors want their money, and ultimately at the end of the day, gaming, the creating games as a business. And a lot of people forgot that, and a lot of people kept saying, "Why does it matter? Why does it matter how I support games? This, that, and the third." Clearly, it does. As we're seeing the fallout here and now, like we constantly warn people. Um, whether it's the company doing something stupid or the fan base doing something stupid, and then people are shocked by the fallout. It's always, you know, interesting to see the way people react after they realize the consequences are very real. And that's where we're at now with them. You said even some of the teams that have survived, like I said, they're a fraction of what they were. I don't know where they're gonna find 1,600 more people to cut, specifically in Xbox. Like I don't really know where that's gonna happen. I know, obviously, some of the teams were kind of spun off, and they're gonna finish the development for some of those titles. Ninja Theory is under new ownership, as well as Undead Labs, thankfully, and they're going to continue the development of State of Decay 3. That was the main game I was personally concerned about. Fable, as of right now, looks like they're still moving full steam ahead for 2027. And a number of other titles, and obviously the expansions and whatnot for Forza Horizon 6. We'll see what happens with Gears going forward. Personally, I just don't see Gears doing the numbers needed, especially not launching on PlayStation. I spoke about it before that I think Gears is going to be pretty much the online portion of Gears is going to be dead by Christmas or early next year, if it even makes it that far. The online for that user base is pretty hardcore. And then it usually just drowns out anybody who casually plays it. And yeah, it'll be over before you know it. So hopefully the campaign and all that stuff is really great on that. And we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, it's not looking great, right? I've seen a lot of Xbox shows try to belittle this and like act like it wasn't a big deal. because a lot of these studios weren't specifically closed. Um, and it's like, dude, 1,600 people still lost their jobs. Like, and a lot of these studios are not in any way, shape, or form at a performant level where they need to be. So again, there's nothing to downplay here and whatnot, and it's definitely a big, massive step. And like I said, the fact that 1,600 more cuts are looking to happen over the next year is insane to me still. But yeah, I know this was a big one for you, Morgan, as well, because I know you really liked a lot of the smaller titles that were developed at Xbox. You played plenty of them, platinum plenty of them, even some of the smaller projects from Obsidian with Pentiment and so on and so forth. And then of course you really loved South of Midnight, and they're one of the studios that is out of there 100%. So what after seeing all this, what was your takeaway from the great Xbox reset? How are you feeling about the future of Xbox, I guess?
Xbox is a very interesting company. I swear there's like, I know this is the official announcement of the Xbox reset, but I swear there's a reset like every year with Xbox. Like we're just gonna try something different. Like we're just gonna throw shit at the wall and see if this works type shit. Like it was that way when they got ABK, and then it was that way when they went multi-platform, started putting games on PS5, and now it's going to be this way where they're trying to cut back on AA and single A titles. It just seems like that there is a, a perpetual fire brewing in Xbox at all times. And I think the last regime with Phil, he tried his best to kind of cover up that fire, and just, you could tell by the end he was just kind of over it. And he was just, I could just tell the way he was moving, I could just tell he was ready to get out, just get out of Xbox. And it seems that with Asha now taking over, it's clear. I mean, it was clear to all of us in here, but I guess now it's clear to the gaming audience that Xbox was in a bad position. They were not making any money, essentially. They've been in the red for a long time. The studios and IPs that they were counting on to move the needle for hardware and Game Pass didn't do anything. Asha came out and said that Game Pass is at 30 million subscribers. And I'm like, I swear that was the number back in 2021, 2022. And it's like, it hasn't moved at all. Even
in fact, it's gone down from the 35.
It's gone down. Yeah. They apparently lost the 4 million, I guess, when they went up to the 30. But even with 35, I'm like, that's like, they grew like 2-3 million at the most. This entire generation, that's terrible. You would think, from what people say, with all these amazing games that are in Game Pass and it's amazing value and it's the best value in gaming, that Game Pass numbers would be at a much more substantial level than where they currently are right now. So yeah, it to me, it's looking like what we said, Game Pass just isn't working. And in her speech, for which she was making the speech about this reset, she was speaking about what changes were needed to come to Xbox. She did mention that specifically that Xbox had tried multi-platform, meaning PS5. They tried Game Pass, and they've tried something else that she was talking about. And those bets didn't, while some good things came out from those bets didn't really work for Xbox. So to me, that makes it seem like, okay, there's going to be some kind of revamp to what Game Pass is and what it does. Personally, I think day and date should probably be taken out. But again, I'm not privy to the numbers of Xbox, so I can't speak definitively on what Xbox should and shouldn't do. But I just don't think, in a time where you're going back to exclusivity and you're trying to get the most bang out of your buck from these games that you're spending multiple millions of dollars from, that you should be continuing to put these multi-million-dollar franchises into a subscription service for people to buy, or to not buy, but to experience that way. But regardless of all that, and this whole situation with these layoffs and the studio being bought out, and IP in question, and it's just, once again, it's like I can't even be surprised about the shit, because it's just like I'm never in a state of stability when it comes to Xbox. I don't ever feel comfortable about anything they've done. So this is like chaos continuing. It's just the continuous flow of chaos from Xbox. So it's not nothing new. This is not like, oh
You used
man,
to Xbox ambassador?
me being an Xbox ambassador didn't mean that I chose stability or anything like that. It's just, again, they have this thing where they are continuously fucking up. So them fucking up more isn't like, oh man, what a surprise. Like, it's just another day with Xbox. Um, I will give Asha kudos for not closing any studios. She sold them off. So good for her for keeping the studios alive, and getting the chance to fight to live another day. Because I was really glad, because I was worried about particularly Undead Labs, because I really wanted to play State of Decay 3, and I was like, bro, if they close this shit, I swear. Like, so apparently they found buyers. That the buyers have not been disclosed for any of these studios, so we'll have to see who ended up purchasing these studios. And apparently they are not under contract to be in Game Pass, so I guess that'll be up to the publisher if they want to do that or not. But with this whole thing, with the whole studio closures and layoffs, and the fact that, again, as you stated, it's not done, right? Apparently there's more to come next week, more announcements of layoffs and things like that. And then we have id Studio being like, half of the damn staff being laid off. And then they have this statement like, oh, hey, it's
Well,
okay, because we're
Or apparently, pretty much most developers have been laid off, right?
yeah. They were like, oh, it's okay, because we're back to like the numbers that we had when we originally made Doom. And I just feel like it just felt like a statement that was made with like a gun pointed to their head, like, say you're good, say you're okay. Say you're okay with being a lean and mean fighting machine now, because you've shed all of these developers, and so it's okay. We're gonna continue to make games. I'm just like,
It did sound
it just
like
was like
that.
a whole. It just felt like a whole nother Turn 10 situation, where like Turn 10 got essentially axed, all developers taken, or laid off, and then they just became like a support studio. I just feel like it has too much of a history to be to that, even though I'm not a Doom fan, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that Doom is terrible. Like, it has its fan base, and it does have its successes. So I don't like that the whole shedding of all these developers is just kind of confusing to me. But in Asha's statement, she said we're going to essentially focus on our big hitters, right? They're the Fable, not the Fables, the Fallouts, the Halos. She also said Doom, which is weird, because then she again like let go of like half or more of the staff. And like Elder Scrolls, stuff like that. Those are going to be like the big bets, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm reliving or having deja vu with this shit, because here we go again with the Halo, Gears, and Forza shit, where they're focusing on a few key franchises, and anything in the realm of creativity is just going to be kind of thrown out the window, right? Because we even hear rumors now that Obsidian will be working on a Fallout spinoff, which is cool. I mean, it's something we've said that they should have been doing a while ago. I mean, Avowed and Outer Worlds didn't really cut it for them. They're both, according to in their own words, they were failures. They did not,
Val did not do well at all.
it didn't. Yeah, neither of those franchises did well. So it's like, now Asha's like, well, here's Fallout. You guys made Fallout New Vegas, so I don't know if they're gonna make a New Vegas 2, or they're just gonna do some different kind of spinoff, but hopefully that'll be a better bet for them. And again, that's something that people were asking for into Phil. But according to Phil, when they were, when people asked him, he was like, well, Todd's baby and he doesn't really want it. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, you are Todd's boss. All right. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what the fuck he wants. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, y'all own the IPs now.
Bethesda came to you because they needed to be bought out. All right. They needed the money. They needed the security of being under a publisher. So under that agreement, you are now his boss and you can tell him what the fuck to do. I get it. He's, the artists are sensitive. They don't want their work, touched by other hands and blah, 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 blah. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to make money. You got to make these games so you can make money and make the gamers happy. That's your job. And so you should have been like, well, that's cool that you want that, Todd, but I could give fuck all, and that this is what's happening. Okay. And I think that's kind of the issue with Phil with a lot of these things. And I think that's why Asha's coming in and she's getting the studios to make it, because she doesn't have that relationship with Todd the way Phil did. Phil and Todd were kind of like friends. So I'm guessing he didn't want to rub his friend the wrong way and hurt his feelings. But Asha, she doesn't have the relationship with these publishers and these developers. She don't give a fuck. She probably came to that studio and was like, so Fallout's a big IP for us and it's doing very well on the, the TV end. It's making us, it's giving great eyes to our IP. So why exactly are we not making a Fallout game? And, Todd probably looked at her and was just like, oh, well, I'm working on Elder Scrolls right now, Fallout come later. And she was like, okay, so why isn't another studio doing it? Well, it's just, I'm going to do it later. And she's like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to have another studio do it right now. And I'm like, we need somebody to do that. Because again, Phil was too buddy with a lot of these studios and refused to put their foot down. And honestly, that is why the situation that we're in right now with a lot of these studios getting axed and cut and layoffs is because Phil just let them do whatever the fuck they wanted. He let Compulsion sit there and develop game for 10 years and get South to Midnight. I enjoyed South to Midnight. I played it on Xbox. I bought it again on PlayStation, platinumed it. I really enjoyed that game, but that's a game that should not have taken 7 years in development. It should not have. That should have been like a 3 to 4 year development, and that's cool. Okay, cool. It didn't take you that long. You didn't spend that much, so it's a nice small game. That's great, right? But taking 7 years for that, and it didn't move the needle for sales. It didn't move the needle for Game Pass. Like, why? And then I'm all for Double Fine being this cute, creative little studio, but you're over here making pottery PvE games, sir. Like, why? Phil was probably just like, yeah. Sure. Why, Phil? Why? Like, why didn't you tell them, what you guys need to do? You need to work on Psychonauts 3. You need to be showing trailer for that. That's what, that's what people want. Or another, bigger IP that you guys are working on. What, we can't be having these little tinky winky games that 2 people are going to play, bro, because y'all want to be having fun and creative and, oh, look, it's pots in a kiln. Like, why? Why are we spending money on this? And then you have Ninja Theory going to and from fucking Iceland for 3 fucking years, taking photos and shit. And then you get Hellblade 2, which had less fucking gameplay than Hellblade 1. But don't worry, because you can see the sweat dripping off of her, chin. So it's all good. And I'm just like, the decisions that were made under Phil were just not it. And that is why, again, he just let them do what they wanted. There was really no kind of, management. Again, where is the shoe scenario where he comes in and it's like, this is not okay. What is this? This is not good. You need to redo this. This is like, you need to change this because this is not this is not okay, essentially.
Well, that's
right?
why they had said they forgot that they did the trust but forgot the verify part. It's like, it's a 2-part thing. You need to verify.
It's a 2-part thing. Like, I get it because these are creatives. You want them to have the freedom to create what they want and do what they want. But at the end of the day, you still have to make something that the gamers want and that will sell and that'll move your platform. Okay, there has to be a happy medium. You have to put your foot down, Phil. And Phil just didn't seem like the guy who wanted to put his foot down. So now Asha has to come in and look at the numbers and look at all these studios and be like, okay, well, Compulsion, you spent 7 years on this and you didn't do anything. Okay, Ninja Theory, you also spent 7 years on this game, had this top end mocap studio, spent all this money to make Senua make 78 different facial expressions, and then the game didn't do anything for us. All right. Double Fine, you made a pottery game. Like, okay. Why? It's just like she got to come in and be the bad guy and give everybody the bad news of like, okay, this isn't going to work for us now. And in order to fix what the last regime did, because let's be very clear, if you read her reset long ass memo that she wrote, in a not so subtle way, she did blame the last regime. She didn't name names, but she did say, due to prior decisions made before I got here, I'm having to put down the fucking axe and chop people's heads off. But don't look, it ain't my fault, which I agree. It's not her fault. It's not on her. She just has to clean up other people's messes.
Yep.
And so now this is what's happening, this big reset of coming in and having to look at the numbers because Satya and Amy Hood demand results. They demand that Xbox be a profitable business, that they don't have to subsidize continuously. They spent $69 billion on this Activision acquisition, and they're not seeing any type of return on this. You put the most profitable game, or one of the most profitable games of Activision, into the subscription, and it self-imploded, and it made the subscription bad, and it made Call of Duty bad, and so you had to take it out and reduce the price. And there's just been a bunch of bad decisions made in these last couple years, especially by the Xbox leadership, that have led to this point right here. And as painful as it is and as sucky as it is to see like all of these people who have been with these companies, because a lot of the people who are being cut are the upper management of like the people who are in the senior positions of these studios, people who have been in these studios for 10 plus years. And you see them getting those are usually the ones that you go for when you're trying to like lower costs, because as long if you're with a company longer and you get more tenure, you're going to be way more expensive than the new guy, the new hire that just came through, right? So like a lot of these senior positions are getting laid off, and it's like, again, it's sad to see that all this talent is basically gone. But I feel like Asha really doesn't really have a choice in the matter. She just has to, okay, we have to lean out the number somewhere. Something's got to give, essentially. I don't know if this bet will be the one bet, because again, this is a continuous thing for Xbox, consistently resetting. I don't know if this will be the reset to fix Xbox, because I don't think there's ever really been a console generation or a publisher that's made a console in history that they were able to, succeed off of just like, the triple A stuff. Like they reduced their workload to just 3 or 4 franchises, and they were able to succeed off of that. Right. Again, because this feels like a repeat of the early Xbox One generation, where they bet on Halo, Gears, and Forza,
Yep.
and that didn't work out.
And Logic
Now,
Logic
what
brought that up
happens?
the other day. He was like, "You're in danger of IP fatigue."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because a lot of PlayStation fans are feeling that with this generation, right? With the sequels of
Yeah.
God of War, the sequels of Spider-Man 2, the sequel of Horizon, the sequels of it's just sequel, right? And people are just like, okay, where's the new stuff at? So you get into, like you said, you get that IP fatigue with these games. And what happens when the IPs that you're betting on don't hit? Right? You're putting all your bets, let's for example, on Elder Scrolls 6. Let's say it's I'm not saying it's going to bomb, but let's just say it's okay. Let's just say it's like a 82, 83. 82 and 83, that's good for that's it's not a bad score. That's a good score, but that's not what Elder Scrolls needs to be. Elder Scrolls has to be like a 90. It has to be a Skyrim level. It has to, because they're placing so many bets on this IP and on it being this iconic must play game, that it has to score a certain way. It has to be a part of the zeitgeist. And what happens if it doesn't? What happens if it doesn't hit that mark? Is our Xbox going to then be like, okay, well then that IP's gone, or that studio's gone, or like what is the play at that point? They're also putting all their bets on Halo, and because honestly, Halo has been mistreated for like 10 or 10 years at this point, longer than that, honestly. It used to be this iconic franchise that you couldn't get away from, regardless of whether you played it or not. You knew about Halo, and now it's just this whisper in the background. It's not even Xbox's mascot anymore. 343, now Halo Studios, has just been terrible. And of course the rumors of the inner turmoil going on within that studio doesn't help the situation. So what happens if the next Halo that they're betting on, because now that they're switching to Unreal 5 with the studio and they're moving away from their own internal engine, what happens if this next Halo doesn't slap? Like, what happens if it's just like, again, okay or bad? Like, this is the problem when you just place all this weight and all these bets on a select few of IPs. I just don't know if that's gonna be the thing to work, right? I don't know if, quote unquote, and I really don't like this phrasing, but trimming the fat of taking, these other developers and studios out of the equation and just kind of funneling all of the resources to, a few select titles that are, that they believe can't lose, right? Oh, it's too big to lose, kind of thing. I don't know if that bet will work. And, now, of course, Blade is also apparently on the being questioned as to whether or not they're going to go through with that IP as well. That's kind of like in limbo where they don't know if they're going to, it's behind schedule and it's over budget, and they don't know if they're going to finish it, get to the finish line with it, or if they're just going to, sell Arcane off or whatever. And it's just, I'm just like, I feel like a Blade game would do very well. Like, I don't understand why you would not want to place your bets on that. Something different, something some people have wanted for a long time, something new, right? But again, it just seems like Asha just wants to stick to the tried and true right now. But the problem is with the tried and true is it's tried, but it's not necessarily true. So again, Gears and Clockwork are going to be exclusive. Those are not going to move the needle for at all. Like, and Gears looks great, looks like a fun game, but Gears does not have the zeitgeist or the popularity that I think a lot of Gears fans think that Gears has. It'll do well for Game Pass. Like, I'm sure people say, Coalition will probably tweet, oh, we had 1 million players, 2 million players. But as far as like sales goes, or convincing people who aren't already in the Xbox ecosystem to buy an Xbox or whatever to get this game because it'll be exclusive, I don't think that's going to happen. It's just not that popular of a game, and it's in a crowded time period where there's like 10 other games coming out as well. So yeah, this bet on exclusivity at a time where the hardware prices, where again, you announce exclusives and then a week later you announce that, oh yeah, and the way to access this exclusive, that the price for that hardware, yeah, that's going up. It's just, it's a lot of counterintuitive plans happening within Xbox right now. So I really don't know. Like, I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't really have, it's not a I'm anti Asha, because she's just started her tenure. This is like month 3 for her at this point. Like, it's not really like she herself did anything. It's just she got thrown into a shit fire, and she's just kind of doing her best to kind of shovel some of the shit out. But I don't know how much she can do without the entire house burning down, again, it's just like, it's no good news for Xbox or PlayStation at this point. It's just like, I don't know what's going to happen with either one of these next generation, because again, the Xbox Helix, that the form factor for that is in question. People don't know if that's going to still be a PC hybrid thing, or if this is just going to be a regular console thing. With the price or anything like that. Is it going to have Steam? Is it going to have Epic Store? Is it going to have like, the third party PC stores? Or is it just going to be like you can access Microsoft PC Store on this if you want to? Yeah, it's I don't really know what's going to happen. More news of layoffs are coming next week. I'm hoping that whoever studios that are maybe on the quote unquote chopping block next, that they also get bought off and sold to someone else, or they can get their own, get their independence. That's kind of like the best you can hope for in this situation. But at the end of the day, I think Asha has a plan in place. I think she has a plan that's going to take time, though. Xbox can't be fixed in a year or two. This is going to take like a generation worth of fixing. And the real question is whether or not Satya and Amy are going to give Asha the time she needs to fix Xbox, or are they going to do like they normally do, where they give you like a year or two, and if the numbers don't improve, they're like, "Fuck it, we're going to do it my way," essentially, right? Because it's kind of what they did with Phil. They kind of pressured him with that 30% profit margin quota that they wanted. Do what you got to do, type thing. And at the end of the day, Amy answers to the shareholders, and the shareholders want their money. And I don't know if Xbox or Microsoft has the patience to wait for Xbox to get to a point where it can be profitable, because again, that takes time. And I don't know if the people up top want to give Xbox the time it needs to get back at I'm not saying at a PlayStation level, but at least at a sustainable level where it can take care of itself, you know. Um, but yeah, it was long-winded, but that's my thoughts on it.
No, yeah, no, I agree with all that. Like, it's definitely, it's not a good look. It'll be like you said. Either way, it's an interesting landscape going forward for both of these companies as to what's going to happen. It's anybody's guess how this is going to go. Um, but yeah, Xbox is yeah, some rough cuts, man. Um, I, I'd be like, at one point, like Logic said, I'd be polishing up my resume and, potentially looking at.
Dude, I feel like if you're a game dev in general, you just got to keep that that resume freshly updated, because I swear, if you sell a game and if a game is profitable, you can still get laid off. If a game flops, you can still get laid off. If the publisher makes record profits, you can still get laid off. Like, it's like there's no guarantee for anything. Like, regardless of how you work or how the game sells or if it flops, you are still eligible to be on that chopping block, because at the end of the day, the gaming industry is not run by the creatives, it's run by the suits, and the suits want their money. They want that number to go up. They don't want it to be, oh, it's profitable or it's sustainable. No, they want it to be like, oh, we made more than ever. We made more than last year, right? That's what they want. So it's honestly a cold business to get into. Like, I feel like this whole situation is keeping, at least in my eyes, keeping people who, or young kids who maybe wanted to be game devs. Like, I would be scared to even study and try to figure out how to become one. Like, it's a very unstable market right now. And I feel like they're probably scaring a lot of potential future game developers away from it, just with how risky it is to get into the business.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, like you said, if you're a software engineer or other things of that nature, you definitely want to potentially look in other markets. Take your talents to South Beach, as they say.
Yeah.
It's a volatile industry, it seems to be. A lot more than before nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot going on, and not all of it good. Weeb, I know you were, again, our resident, Xbox owner here. So, are you feeling awesome
So
about the
remind me.
future of Xbox? How you feeling?
I mean, it's fucking insane. Like, look, yeah, I hear you, Morgan. Definitely, she has to clean up somebody else's mess. But I don't really have a lot of confidence that she really knows what she's doing, as in, or at least that she's not doing what we hope she's doing. Because if her directive is, hey, just break it down, sunset it, so make sure you can sell it off or close it down as little pain as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's
Plan's the plan
probably.
still, it's not the plan,
Yeah, exactly. Or the plan is the plan she is not telling you that plan is.
Yeah,
The,
because she's been very vague on what actually her plan is.
yeah,
She speaks like a politician, so yeah.
that's the plan. Confuse them so they don't know what the plan is. and then they realize there is no plan, which is plan. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
she's SpongeBob in the kitchen trying to blow out all the fires.
Oh yeah, that episode.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but I mean, these two things, like, yes, you can argue, okay, she spun off some of the studio. She fired a lot of people to, I guess, save costs. She directed, Obsidian to work on another Fallout. Like, yeah, totally agree that the approach of Phil didn't work, or Matt Booty for that matter, because he was technically responsible for the studio. Sort of this hands-off approach, which was deliberate, as in they didn't know how to manage the studios. That's why they bought. That's why they bought Bethesda or ZeniMax. That's why they bought Activision. They hired that expertise, as in, okay, yeah, we don't know how to run these studios, so yeah, let's just hire people to do so for us. And yeah, there was an insane level of management layers that that really made things hard to get done. But the interesting thing is that she's also putting in a lot more oversight, as in, but also means that a lot more things will uh, take a lot more time or will be hard to get approved. And yes, that definitely needs to be quality control. That was a problem, but that's, as as you guys mentioned, yeah, you're not going to sell your platform just based on these AAA titles that yeah, cater to maybe a majority of your fan base, but don't cater to everybody. And if you want to bring in these new people, or you want to retain these people who love your indie push, who love these smaller titles, from studios like Double Fine or Ninja Theory, yeah, you're basically saying there is no room for those titles. And yeah, the problem with that is also that there's an um, ever moving scale, because yeah, okay, because you're clearly saying Doom is a focus, and then you basically fire like pretty much every developer. And okay, how are they gonna make their next Doom game? Is that, like, are you, do you not know how this works, or is that the intention? Like, we're just gonna gut that studio to the point that they cannot deliver, that they just have to fail on their commitments or their promises to, oh yeah, no, you're supposed to release another Doom game or another expansion in the next couple of months. You're unable to hit those milestones because you literally have nobody to work on it. So yeah, maybe we're just gonna close you down. That's a possibility. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that scummy publishers, yeah, I'm talking about you, EA, basically set studios up to fail, just so they can close them, and save costs, do a tax write-off, whatever motivation they have to kill something they just bought. Um, so yeah, I'm not so positive. I mean, there's nothing positive about it because they lost their jobs. The only sort of, yeah, positive thing about it is that at least the studios we feared were going to be closed are close. Question is, of course, how far, how they will fare under the new management, independent again. That remains to be seen. But yeah, at least
Hmm.
better than the alternative, them being closed. But yeah, it is kind of like a kind of. It's sort of like she is. She basically was threatening to shoot a puppy, and then we're glad she didn't shoot the puppy. I'm like, okay, but she was the one who was issuing the threat, so should we be
Old
happy?
Yeller style.
Yeah, should I commend you for not doing the worst possible thing you could have done in that situation? Yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, yeah, look, as you said, like the ship kind of sailed. Like, I don't know what the future of Xbox is going to be. Like their strategy seems to be eking more and more to being a third party publisher. They're less focused on the platform, more focused on making as much revenue as possible. Um, whether that's going to be whether that's going to be for the better, like I mean, they were in a bad position to begin with. So that's kind of the problem we have here is that we can't really when we have a comparison like was not like an ideal or a good situation to begin with where she where we can sort of go back to or where we can be nostalgic for like remember last year. No, last year sucked, so you but that doesn't mean the only way is up. I think there's a distinct possibility that you can also, things are going to be worse, and they're not going to be better because that's not my job. That's not what I was hired for. My job was to make this stuff profitable by any means necessary, even if it means I'm going to close down studio or whatever, just to make sure that we're on the balance sheet, are not uh, you know uh, incurring any losses. That's that's the troubling aspect of her position of her appointment is that yes, there's a clearly wasn't working, and I don't think you would have fixed it by promoting somebody internally because they were basically doing the exact same thing. They were not able to really think of a good plan or they didn't know what they were doing. But yeah, I don't know if we should be happy. Happy again. It's very hard to use the word happy after what. Again, we were supposed to be happy that she didn't do any worse. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of people also said like the thing that kind of made Game Pass interesting were from first party, but also third party because they were also no longer they basically cut any deal they were making games coming to Game Pass with third party publishers and
Mm-hmm.
developers. Like so what's gonna be in there that's gonna entice people to subscribe? It's you're like I said, like is the next Halo gonna be bringing back that past glory? Of course not. And I don't think that E-Day is gonna fare well either because they made the brain that decision to make that an exclusive, which I suppose again might also be again the cynic in me is every time they're making a bad decision like that. The old Xbox would generally just do that because they don't know what they're doing. The new Xbox under Asha is like I'm not sure if that's the case or if that's just intentional. He's setting up somebody to fail, so you can't just say, "Oh yeah, well you guys didn't meet your targets, so yeah, sorry, we gotta close your studio. Like we don't we yeah we don't have a future for you guys. So sorry, yeah, I should have done better. Yeah, it's not my fault that I decided to make it exclusive, and that's why you sell. It doesn't matter. You still have your targets. Like that's a possibility. I'm not saying that what is happening or what that's her intention. We have to guess, but I'm not going to discount that. Like I'm quite cynical in that sense that it doesn't feel like there's no good feeling about this that she's there just to save Xbox to bring it back to its past glory. I think you should really be concerned that she's there to just put it to pasture. Um, and or at least has the sort of mandate that if she can turn it around, she has permission of Satya to pull the trigger. And again, we've seen the consequences of having no or giving little competition to PlayStation. They're big for their breaches. They are yeah, the signs are there. They're back to their arrogant streak they had on the PS3 generation. It was is kind of you kind of were hoping that was never going to happen, and we're very cautious about time uh, uh, yeah heals all wounds or changes, and a lot of the people who were there and were had experienced that terrible situation are no longer there. So there are also no longer the people there who are cautioning against getting in a position where you're disregarding player base, your fans, your consumers, and just think, oh yeah, they'll just let us get whatever we say we want to do, no matter how bad it is for consumers. We are too big to fail. That's kind of what they're saying right now. Yeah, the only thing I can say about it, I wonder, but yeah, it doesn't help that Xbox hasn't been competing these last years, decades. They it gets your competitor complacent, and it puts them in a position where they have too much market share. They probably can get away with a lot of things that we don't want to get away with. But the question is, what does that mean for the future? Does it, and it doesn't look good right now with the way that how arrogant PlayStation is, and how sinister things are with Xbox. I don't want to say Nintendo's our only hope, but Nintendo also started this generation with their harebrained idea with game card keys, and I've seen people even saying like a digital foundry like, yeah, I prefer that over Sony's future. Yeah, but it's still like literally the same thing. Like they were pushing that so that they were trying to ease us into an all digital future for Nintendo. And I do hope that Nintendo sees it as an opportunity to say, yeah, but we see people want physical. Let's just give them what they want. And there are signs that they're at least pulling back from or at least not them, maybe they're the third parties who saw that their sales of their game cookies wasn't doing as well as they hoped, and now they realize that people do want to have the game on the card. So we're seeing
Do it, Nintendo.
definitely do it and show them what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they're not going to
Are they
learn
gonna?
message from
We're
it.
gonna get Morgan to be a Nintendo gamer again.
Bruh.
Oh yeah,
Bring me back, bro. I think the last
man.
one what I had was the Wii. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset. Yeah, bring back the Switch. I'll go.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Come join us. We can play Orbital together.
Hey,
Hell
look,
yeah,
you have
exactly.
been getting into SRPGs, so I mean
Mm,
they do got Fire Emblem over there. I ain't gonna say nothing.
they
Yeah,
do.
we know.
Hey, they got
You have
Xenoblade over there
collector's
too.
edition, you don't have to rub it in.
Yeah, you've been getting your JRPG on a lot, so you
And there
can
are a lot
add.
of exclusive ones over there, so
Mm-hmm,
maybe the
mm-hmm.
time to maybe the time.
Oh man, they got to hit you with a special edition. They haven't started their onslaught yet. Where they come out with the special Zelda ones and
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
might as well get the cool one. While you're or at least wait for the battery, the one with the new battery and the new screen.
Yeah.
All the good
But
stuff.
say, are they gonna do like a OLED version of it?
Yeah, I think you'll really obviously enjoy like an OLED version and stuff. So, hey, look, you might just get the best of it.
Yeah, only for $700.
Yeah, right. Let's hope not. Um, but yeah, Kay, did you have anything you wanted to add? Uh,
Well,
bearing this Xbox situation.
Morgan and Weeb said quite a lot, So there's not really too much
Sorry.
for me to add, But like I said earlier, it feels like Asha has Asha. She's come in and she's like SpongeBob. She sees all these little fires in the kitchen, and she's running to each little fire and just trying to blow them out. Um, but I do think that a reset, so to speak, is what Xbox has needed for a long time. They needed someone to come in and be like, we need to stop, we need to take a step back, we need to reassess, and we need to come up with a new game plan because apparently whatever's going on now is not working. And and there was something about like 14 layers of management, and she was trying to, cut some of those layers. And I mean, when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, it becomes chaotic. It becomes a mess. And so it's unfortunate that a lot of these people are being let go. I just hope that the people, I really hope that they're actually going in and looking at and saying, that at least I hope the majority of the people they're letting go are unnecessary duplicate jobs, or trying to streamline the bureaucracy, and that goes on through the company and each studio. And eh, yeah, I think the idea of doing a reset is a good idea. Now, theory and execution are two different things. So we see the theory, we're looking at the beginning of the execution, but we're really not going to see anything for, I don't know, maybe like 2 years at least down the road before we actually start seeing a big change, seeing how things are going. Um, I, I, I think what would be a good idea would have been when they acquired all these studios, right? Was to whatever they were working on, go ahead and finish those things out, right? Like with Starfield, right? Let them finish it out, but then
Hmm.
their next projects be something that Xbox goes, hey, we acquired you. We want you to make a new IP that will now make you synonymous with Xbox. Put something new and fresh out that says this is Xbox and the studio that you've known for all these years. Now we're together, and this is what we have produced together as a new unit. I think, and yes, new IPs are risky, but look at Pragmata. That that has
Oh
been
yeah.
my game of the year so far. So, and a lot of new IPs that have come out that have been successful have been almost passion projects. Like, I mean, just to throw an example out, Horizon Zero Dawn, when they were like, we need to make something new. We want to do something different other than what we've been doing the past, you know, 10 years. And they said, we're going to get everyone come up with an idea, come up with a pitch, and we're going to pick the best one. Someone came up with the pitch and an idea for Zero Dawn. Everyone loved it, and they ran with it, and that has become a newer successful IP. And I think that if they just kind of stick with that mindset of saying, hey, because like, what is it? A lot of people are told, especially writers, don't write for other people. Don't write something that you think someone will like. Write what you want to write. Write something that you want to read, that you would enjoy. Because if you enjoy it, there's guaranteed an audience that will enjoy it as much as you. And I think that's where Xbox needs to sit down and maybe go over something like that with that idea in mind, and going forward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree. They kind of seem to Asha's plan at least seems to be like complete opposite, not necessarily throwing creativity out the window, but just instead of, trying something new, we're just going to kind of stick to what we know, right? Um and like I agree. I think actually investing in new IP and not just kind of like what Phil did where he just like, yeah, do whatever. I think new IP with guidance, right?
Right, right.
Proper management and proper expectations being put into place can lead to some fantastic franchises, like you said, with Horizon and all the, newer IPs that we've seen. And I also agree that what you're talking about with the point you made reminded me when you say, she's starting to streamline things, how she mentioned in her memo that there were like 17 different, what was it?
The layers of management thing.
Barriers. Yeah, layers of
Yeah.
management that they had to go through to
Yeah.
get shit approved. I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, it's
imagine
ridiculous.
having to get something like, I feel like that would take forever. Oh yeah, I gotta tell Bob about
Maybe
it, and
that's
Bob's
how
gotta tell
nothing is.
Susan. Yeah,
What if that's how nothing
exactly.
is getting done? Maybe
Exactly.
that's why Halo Infinite was like half a billion dollars or something?
hmm It was crazy. I think that's it. Yeah, when you have to go through that many people to just get one little thing approved,
Well, Halo
that can
Infinite,
slow down like productivity immediately.
Yeah, and communication can get lost too. You could be like, "Oh,
Exactly.
you know what? I'm gonna send an email to somebody," and then they forget to send the email.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're waiting. You've been waiting for weeks, and you're like, "Hey, did you hear back from Bob over there?" Oh, wait, I didn't even send it. Oh, my bad. It's just there's just so many things. It's like, you're playing telephone with people, and like you said,
Right.
information can get lost that way. Um, so it's good that she's kind of lowered the barrier of entry, and now a lot of the top executives or whatever of studios kind of answer directly to her, and she said, Minecraft as well will now answer directly to her. So I'm guessing they're gonna even invest even more in Minecraft, since it's a big IP for them, and it's like it's turned into its own kind of platform essentially. Especially with obviously it was a successful it's a successful game, but obviously it got even more popular with the movies and things like that. So I think she wants to make sure that they're doing the most with this franchise, and making sure they're getting the most out of it, right? Because Minecraft is very popular, and you want to keep the popularity going, right?
I mean, at
So
this point, it might be just their most popular and most profitable game.
yeah, so it seems like she's being more direct, and she wants people, all these studios to kind of answer to her, which I get, because honestly, I guess they were under Matt Booty's privy, and God knows he wouldn't really do nothing with them first party studios. So honestly, I would be the same way. Like, you know what? Just here's my email. Just email me, okay? Like,
Hmm.
I just hope this plan works out, but again, who knows? It's we're going into a generation, like, there's been multiple generations that we've seen, but we're going into one that's unprecedented, one where tech and hardware are highly in question. We really haven't seen anything like that previously, where consoles are reaching these unattainable levels of prices for the average consumer. So that's going to be a huge factor into how these studios function, whether or not the people are going to get laid off and stuff. That could the game could be great, but if nobody can buy the hardware and nobody can access the game, then it can still go badly for that studio in that game. So everything's kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah, I definitely think phase one should be put out the fires, and
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
step two, figure out what is working, what is not working.
hmm
Just take it like we're just one step at a time. Um, Seems like that's what she's trying to do. So we'll just it's a wait and see type of game.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I honestly I hope Xbox does come back. Um, maybe they can name their next console Xbox Phoenix or something.
Yes, rose from the ashes. Yeah.
Yes.
Xbox Phoenix.
Rose from the Asha.
Rose from the
Rose from the
Asha.
We
Asha.
rise from the ashes.
Oh my
It's like
god.
it's like it's green. It's green flames.
Yeah. I
That
could definitely see that. Oh
and
shit.
then we did question what was going to be the name for the next Xbox, since they don't have a consistent naming scheme. So there you
Honestly,
go.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just named it Xbox. Because of our whole theme of trying to go back. We're resetting. We're kind of going back to the glory days. We're starting over with Xbox. Like, how like once a franchise goes for a long time, they kind of go back to just naming it its original name.
Yeah, that's
Kind of
true.
like
Oh
God of
no,
War
Xbox.
2018.
Xbox Zero because they're starting at ground zero.
Oh,
I
man.
think they'll probably have a negative connotation too, being like zero, like you're like
Yeah,
loser, like
people
zero.
would be like, "What does that mean?" Like you never want to have a name where people are like, "What does that mean, though?"
Because it's like you're comparing it to, because you gotta remember the average consumer too. So you'll be comparing Xbox Zero to PlayStation 6, and people are like, well, that one has a higher number, so that must mean it's better. Because that's
Exactly.
how the casuals who don't really know anything about these consoles think, and that's why Xbox has refused to number their consoles, because they're technically one number behind PlayStation, and they don't want to give the impression that their console is less powerful than PlayStation. Uh,
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Xbox 6 7.
Oh God. Lord have
Six,
mercy.
seven, a little bit of both. I mean, that's fair. That's
They
fair.
might as well then go with 760 then.
Wait, what? Wait,
They
wait, wait.
they might as if they're
I
gonna
heard you.
go
I heard you,
if
but
they're
why?
gonna go because if they wanna confuse their consumers, they might as well confuse them with the whole meme 760 or 720 from the
Yeah, I was gonna
360.
say it would be a 720.
Okay, yeah. I was like, that's why 760. I was like, huh? Yeah, 720. That's what you meant. Okay, got you,
Yeah,
got you,
my
got you.
bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, I don't really know how this thing is gonna go, man. Like I think this is kind of a Hail Mary kind of move with Xbox. Like this is just like, well, what's the quickest thing that we can do right now to kind of get us our numbers up? Oh yeah, we can kind of, layoffs. That's always, the tried and true method to getting our numbers up. Oh, okay, we'll do that. But we have to do a
Right.
They'll
massive
get rid
amount of
of all
layoffs
those
though.
layers of management. I agree with.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. And it's like you said, more to come. This isn't over. So who is next? I feel bad for honestly Xbox employees, because who can work under that type of pressure of wondering if you're gonna have a job next week? Like, I wouldn't be able to focus on my work because I'm just gonna be sitting there like, yo, I'm sitting here updating my resume. Do I need to call in some of my connects? Do I need to think about possibly moving in the future? Like, what's gonna happen? And then your boss is telling you, oh, don't worry about it. Just gonna go back to work. It's all good. Like, no, I can't. No, don't tell me not to worry about it, because it's just gonna make me worry worse. You know. Um. So yeah, I feel like that level of just instability working in
Uncertainty,
that
yeah.
type of environment, yeah, it's just not healthy. Um, which is why I would prefer like a band-aid method, just rip it off and don't drag it out, but they're gonna drag it out within this whole year apparently.
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll see.
this industry is kind of sucking.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to be excited. Like you want to be excited for the games
Like
because
the
they're
games are so great, but it's like the people behind it, the suits are just terrible. Like,
yeah, they're just tearing this all up.
shit.
Yeah, we'll see. Omar, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we get up out of here?
Mm, so, uh, so it's not even ending. There's still more. Damn. The one thing that I want to talk about is Xbox, or rather, Asha vision of exclusivity. I think that might be her downfall, simply because we know exclusivity is not gonna sell. They are not gonna sell a $1,200 console. If PlayStation is already having trouble with the idea of a $1,000 console, Xbox have zero chance to sell them. So I'm curious what they're gonna do. Are they gonna if she wants exclusivity, is she gonna kill day and date? Is she gonna kill PC releases?
Oh no, they need PC. It's too late for that.
She, she wanna be
Yeah.
drastic, eh? She got the free reign to be drastic, to hit the reset button. That's one way to do it. No longer day and date, no longer PC release.
I mean, that would literally not releasing on PC would literally destroy Xbox. They don't have any choice on that. They don't have a big enough of a platform to rely solely on the 30 million people that they got over there. That's not enough. They need PC, so PC ain't going nowhere. But I could see day and date possibly being reevaluated.
It's gonna be interesting.
Well,
And
and
another thing,
Xbox
the
did that to
whole.
themselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We
Oh yeah.
said it day one. Day and date have always been their death sentence, but their number one death sentence was what you call it, PC. So it's cutting its software is so icky. It's like they've done it with multiple studios now, where they got them and turn them into what you call it, support studios. It's it's 3,000. They let go of 3,000 people. That's crazy. And the fact people
They
just
haven't let
glance.
3,000. It's a 1,600 in this wave, and then there's 1,600 more to go. So
Okay.
it's 3,200 total when it's done.
Okay. Um, 1,600 now. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's gonna be
The
interesting.
people that they, I'll say it real quick. The people that they did cut or going to cut from id, the only people I hope that get cut are the people that did Mick Gordon wrong on the Doom soundtrack.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, they can go. Everyone else can stay.
No, apparently they cut everyone from it for the most part.
No, they
It is
cut half.
gutted.
It's half the staff. They had about 200 people, and they cut almost half. They cut 95.
No, that's crazy. We're gonna see next week what's gonna happen. I don't. I forgot who said it. Either Morgan or Weeb or UK. I don't think Xbox is gonna stand behind. I meant Microsoft. I don't think they're gonna stand behind Xbox. They're gonna sabotage them. That's all they do every time, every single time. And we will see what's gonna happen with the exclusive. Let's end it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think worst case scenario is Xbox goes out like Sega. They just become a publishing house.
I mean, honestly,
That's
I
it.
think that's probably best case for me right now because I don't really care about their hardware. So
Yeah, because they have
Right.
that's
some
the best
great.
case for me. I wish they would do that and just go ahead and call it what it is. Stop this whole we're gonna make hardware still. Like, yeah, cut that out. Just make my games.
Oh God, I don't want it to happen because I just don't want PlayStation to be in a place where they're like, yes, it is
Oh.
just
Don't
us,
want it,
bitches.
but to be
Oh
honest,
yeah.
Right.
the PlayStation have been moving the way they want to move while Xbox is still
Oh yeah, I know they've been
existing.
moving regardless, but I don't want them to
So
be like, well, now the floodgates, like,
I
you
mean,
yeah,
know,
I feel you.
I think then they better think about how much competition PC is for them at that point. Because I think if
then all of a sudden introducing, the Apple console.
Oh God. Oh God.
All
Yeah.
of a sudden just comes
Oh
out of
hell
nowhere.
no.
Apple
Nah.
introducing
cost you
iConsole.
that gonna cost you an arm and a leg and a
Oh,
and a
absolutely,
kidney.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm about to be retro
Yeah.
for life at that point. I'm gonna just
Retro for life.
yeah.
Remember, but you guys, people are hating on Jim Ryan, but remember, Jim Ryan stopped their team from creating $1,000 console. So it's gonna be interesting to see
I mean, they
how much.
also weren't in this scenario where they're at now. Like I said, we're in a whole different ball game right now.
Yeah,
So
I know, because of the prices and stuff like that. I'm fully aware of that, but it's still interesting to see if they gonna create a $1,000 console, and if Xbox gonna be one as well. Next gen is it's looking terrifying. Not gonna lie.
yeah, we'll see what happens. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Yes, you can find Twitter, just gaming.
Whatever
Not sure what.
Yakuza is.
Sorry.
Whatever Yakuza is.
Yeah, it is everywhere. But yeah, I'll yeah. I mean, again, they hurt me, so you need to vent. You need to talk about it, and of course, we can't stay quiet. Um, let our voices be heard. What even if they're set in their ways and they have to changing their decision. Make sure that we are as vocal as possible because there are so many avenues to go that we see legislators in some countries like Brazil starting to investigate this. Like, yes, there's probably no legislature that can undo this, but maybe at least it can soften the blow where at least force them to be more consumer friendly with their digital offering. Um, and yeah, in the meantime, I will keep on gaming and keep buying games, keep buying physical games. I've been the last couple of weeks. I've been posting my uh, you know latest procurements. Got the mouse worker, a mouse PI extension, collector's edition for Inconveni. I mean, if you look for it, you can find it, and especially now, it's a really good time, I guess, to buy things because people are. I do see a little bit of a panic with some people keep buying a lot of stuff, and I haven't really seen price increases, but I mean that could be well in future a thing when physical games become rarer. So yeah, if you wanna you know f- get those last pieces of your collection to finalize it to make sure that you have everything you have. Now's the time. I highly recommend. I mean, I have like I think 38, 39 games in pre-order or so yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll keep on gaming, keep on buying, but definitely I'm exploring the possibility to make PC my main platform going forward because yeah, the hurt is real, Sony. You've done it, and yeah, yeah, my heart is broken, and it can be mended. I'm sorry. So yeah, I have no choice but to find it. So yeah, that's it.
I can
Other
make you
question.
leave.
I know you can.
All right, Kate, where can the people find you, ma'am?
You can find me on Twitter at Kaylee1103. If you don't know how to spell it, it should be at the bottom of the screen listed there with all the rest of our apps. Um, Otter Nation.
Automation.
Otter Nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Yeah, you're gonna find me gaming. Even with
At
all
your
this
truth.
bull crap going on, still some great games out there. So that's what I'm holding on to right now. But
Absolutely.
I'm definitely in the mindset of everybody else, just trying to figure out, how I move is going to be based on how PlayStation moves. If they don't want to add any kind of consumer protections and, make sure that there's some competition and competitive pricing via third party digital storefronts for their digital future, then all right, I'll just take my third party support somewhere else, somebody who will like Steam. It's just going to depend on what they do. Because at the end of the day, I'm a gamer and I'll just go where I'm appreciated as a gamer. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm hoping that PlayStation is going. Yeah, obviously, they're going to talk about the future at some point, but my hopes is that they're and probably hopium and copium mixed, together in this. But my hopes is that they are being quiet because this is a PS6 discussion and they haven't started talking about PS6 yet. So they're waiting to divulge more information when they announce PS6. But again, that's probably copium. But still holding on to that hope. We
Yeah,
will
I
see
mean,
though. We will
yeah,
see.
I mean, it's not over. Like we said, it's not over yet. But right now, the state that it's in,
It's looking over.
Yeah, we're gonna. No, that's
Hush,
not what I
hush,
meant.
Omar, hush, Omar.
But yeah, yeah, like Omar. Anyway, uh, but yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
So, shout out to everyone that came through. Hit the like button, share the stream out. We reached 100 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. As for me, you can find me @job_job on Twitter. Player games. One more time, player games. And as we always say now, take care of your consoles because these are legit gold right now. Oh, and fuck PlayStation. No, that should be their motto. Fuck other player for now. Fuck play, fuck PlayStation. That should be their motto right
Okay.
now.
Anyway, before Omar made it awkward, I am your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Twitter and
Awkward.
Blue Sky, and we're out of here. Otter Nation.